Come on. We're on. Wow. Nice run on track. No nocturne while I just wait for everything to start up properly. I'll have to refresh that, don't I? Otherwise it's going to say I'm offline even though I'm not. Wow! Oh, shit. Kill that now. And open this. Oh, jeez. If they ruin teacher, best teacher, it's time to riot. The Book of Yui. Time. Oh no. The chapter after this one, Purgatory, is actually kind of important because it's Naha Sayanoki Purgatory is that one. And then this one is Murishige, the boy who copes by taking pictures of corpses and admiring them. And then there's the chapter that nobody needed, which has Yuka in it. And then this one's the Kazami chapter, which everyone wanted. And then the actual post-true ending chapter that leads into Blood Drive is missing from this list for the moment. But for now, Yui Sensei. Oh boy. I'll get this ready in case I mess up. Speaking things up. Wow. Okay. Oh shit, am I using wait, am I? Oh good, I'm not.
天神5番地の
Hey Mom.
ん
Let's see. Tenjin 5. Also, wait a minute while I check this over here and okay, good.
これ23だよな。
Is that a
それとも
23?
33か
Or is it a 33?
まったく山崎先生の字は読みづらいな。
Mr. Yamazaki's handwriting is atrocious. This really wasn't my day. We're playing self-insert con for now. I knocked over my alarm clock this morning, and of course it stopped working. The very last pork sandwich sold out right before my eyes during lunch. And I was roped into a favor when I happened upon my homeroom teacher, Mr. Yamazaki, long after the school day had ended. Why is this being annoying? Why is this being annoying? Ah. Not back there. Ugh. So now, like it or not, I was on my way to deliver some notes to Missouri, our homeroom teaching assistant who was out sick with a cold.
後でゆかに謝らないとな。
I have to make sure I apologize to Yuka later.
今日は早く帰ってゆかの買い物に付き合ってやる予定だったし。
I know how disappointed she'll be that I'm missing our shopping date. Deal with it, Yuka.
天神5番地23の11。ここか。
Tenjin 523 number 11. Found it.
これが6番地33の77とかじゃなければ。だけど。
As long as this doesn't actually read 633 number 77 anyway. I stopped and compared the memo in my hand with the apartment building in front of me. It was 2 stories tall and looked a little on the shabby side. Probably about 20 years old. So are we in prequel territory again now? I think we're in prequel territory. It didn't seem very solid, nor was it particularly stylish or chic. Chic? It was a completely unremarkable structure in every way.
ここの207号室。いや、201?
From 207 or is it 201? I was really getting fed up with this handwriting. And from a teacher no less. Writing is to be read. If your writing is illegible, you failed! In any case, it seemed certain the apartment was on the 2nd floor, so I trudged up the startlingly narrow steep stairs. The metal staircase was thoroughly blotched with patches of rust. Why would someone live in such a run-down apartment building?
先生の給料ってもしかしてすごく安かったりするのか？
Teacher salaries really that low? Yes, they are. They really are. Pretend you wrote it in code to feel better about being a failure. I felt a little sorry for her, but in a way, this place kind of fit her personality. Kind of fit her, yeah. With that thought in mind, I turned my attention toward apartment 201.
ここが201号室か。
Here we are, 201. Yeah.
でもゆい先生の家じゃないな。
Yeah, this doesn't look like Miss Yui's place. The door plate for the room nearest the stairs had a name I didn't recognize scribbled on it.
ってことはこの奥か。
Guess that means we try door number 2. Past the room 201, I continued down the narrow walkway toward the end. Wandering alone around an apartment building I'd never been to before made me feel kind of nervous. It wasn't like I was doing anything wrong, but my back still tensed up as I maneuvered around piled up strollers, plastic toys, and bundles of newspapers. And then finally, I arrived at the last door. Hold on. Oh, that's fine.
ここだ。
Bingo! This was it. I breathed a sigh of relief. The door plate for apartment 207 read, Shishido. For an adult's handwriting, especially, the letters were rounded and overly cutesy. This was Miss Yui's place, alright.
なんだろうこれ。
What's this? I leaned in to read something written in small script on the corner of the door plate.
愛病注意？
Beware of cat!
猛犬注意じゃなくて？
Shouldn't that be beware of dog? He didn't get the joke. He didn't get the joke. Satoshi. Dumb.
ゆい先生らしいや。
That's Miss Yui for you. So how exactly does one beware a house cat? Small brain. Is it even possible for a house cat to be threatening? You don't know enough cats, do you? At any rate, I'd confirmed beyond a shadow of a doubt this was Miss Yui's place, so my errand was nearing its end.
それにしても山崎先生もひどいよな。
What was Mr. Yamazaki thinking anyway?
風邪ひいたクラスメートにプリント持っていくならわかるけど、風邪ひいた副担の先生のうちに授業のノートを届けろって。
I understand taking handouts to sick classmates, but delivering class notes to the home of an absent teacher?
絶対におかしい。
That just seems weird.
間違いなくこれ担任の仕事だよ。
This isn't something a student should be doing. He'd said he was busy with meetings, though, and really needed one of his students to help him out. But was it really okay to entrust a school student with confidential class notes?
これ生徒が読んじゃまずいノートなんじゃないのか？
Wouldn't it be kind of a problem if I were to read these? My mind kept drifting from one question to another, and I'd become acutely aware of the inherent value in these notes I held in my bag. But tempting as it was, I just couldn't bring myself to look at them. Mr. Yamazaki put his faith in me after all. Can I actually? Yeah, I can say it. And I was stronger than that. I couldn't let this get the best of me. At any rate, I was here. I should have just been able to drop off the notes and be on my way. Putting all my doubts and misgivings aside, I rang the doorbell. And then I waited, and waited, and waited some more. There was no answer.
あれ俺呼び鈴をしたよな。
It did ring, didn't it?
ゆい先生
I rang the bell again, and also tried calling out. But there was still no response. I don't remember this very well. Leave him kind of outside the set. I don't remember this very well. I'm not entirely certain if this actually is an okay chapter or not. I don't remember it being bad. Not bad.
どうしよう。寝てんのかな。
What should I do? Maybe she's sleeping.
起こしちゃ悪いけど、でも心配だしな。
I don't want to wake her, but I am a little concerned. When we'd heard that Miss Yui was staying home sick today, we were all pretty disappointed. That's why part of me was actually a little happy that I was asked to run these over to her. I figured I'd be able to check in, see how she was doing, and let everyone at school know that she was feeling better.
けど会えないっていうのは想定外だったな。
Never occurred to me that I might not even be able to see her though. Chapter 2 was honestly worth it though, because Mayu needed characterization beyond being wallpaper. An attempt had to be made, and it was made. There's some really good endings in there. Oh jeez. And any time we spend with Ayumi and Kishinuma is good.
ゆい先生ゆい先生反応なしか。
Nothing, huh?
ゆい先生すみません。
Hello? She was probably sleeping or out at the doctor's or something, but what if she were hurt? I tried opening the mail slot and peeking in. I don't know where the cat is. She'll be fine. Anytime we spend away from Yuko is good. I thought maybe I could get a glimpse of the room inside.
ゆい先生
It felt kind of wrong peeking into someone's house without their permission. But I was legitimately worried about Ms. Yui's health, so my conscience was clear on this one.
うっ
Beware of the cat! You were warned, beware of cat. The cat was ready for you. Cat is judging you.
ああ猫
The cat. A well-groomed cat was facing the door and staring back at me. With its head tilted slightly to the side, it let out an adorable meow. This must be the cat I was instructed to beware. And since Miss Yui was always going on and on about her little buddy, I was pretty sure I remembered his name.
この子が噂のモレじゃなくて確かモネ。
You're Mare, right? Oh no, it's Monet, I
そうだモネちゃんだ。
think. Yeah, Monet.
へえ綺麗な猫だな。
What a pretty kitty you are, Monet. Miss Yui talked about her cat a lot in class, so pretty much the whole school had heard of him. She even had some tins of cat food hidden on a shelf in the classroom, probably because she'd bought too much and had no room for them in her apartment.
モネ、モネ。先生はいるか？
Is Miss Yui home?
先生がいるんだったら、起こしてきてほしいんだ。
If she's home, would you mind waking her up for me?
モネ、頼むよ。
It's good, kitty.
やっぱり無理か。
Yeah, I didn't
そり
think
ゃそうだよな。
that would work. Same cat. My shoulders sank. I felt defeated. What the hell was I doing? I closed the mail slot and stood back up.
弱ったな。
Damn.
ゆい先生、どうしたんだろう。
I sure hope Miss Yui's alright.
どっか外出中とか？
She's probably just out right now or something.
空いてたりしないかな。
Which would mean the door's locked, I'm sure. Lost in a speculation, I placed my hand on the doorknob. And with a quick twist, I turned it and pushed on the door, opening it easily.
え？鍵かかってないのか？
It wasn't locked?
うわ、いけね。
That's not good.
モネが出たら大変だ。
Can't let Monet get out.
お前のご主人様は不用心だな。
Master's pretty careless,
鍵も
huh?
かけてないなんて。
Leaving the door unlocked like that. Money's whiskers twitched as I called out to him from the entranceway. Oh no, shit. Oh no.
なんだ？
What's that?
その通りだにゃって。
Oh no. Sheeper is... No.
モネもやっぱりそう思うか。
You and I on the same page, Monet. Here I was talking to a cat. Was this what I'd become? What's wrong with that?
どうしよう。
What should I do? Better than talking to a human. I was feeling pretty uneasy. Not only had I peeped into someone's home, I'd walked in without a second thought. Moreover, this was where Miss Yui lived, alone, in other words. A woman's apartment. No matter how many times I reminded myself that I was here on an errand, I couldn't help feeling that I not only crossed the line, but leapt over it.
ゆい先生。
Tried calling her name one last time. But as expected, there was no answer.
本当にどうしようかな。
What now? I was trying hard to avoid being too nosy, but my eyes inevitably began surveying the room. The apartment entrance led out immediately into the kitchen, and beyond that, there was a sliding door to some other room. I could see light through the gaps. Right. I strained my ears, but there was nothing to hear. No signs of life whatsoever. Lucy really must have been out. One more time. I tried calling out to her one more time, just to put my concerns at ease. I felt like I'd seem even more suspicious if I stayed silent.
ゆい先生、持田です。
It's much Still nothing. Maybe she was asleep on the other side of that door?
確かめてみ。いやいやいやいや。
Let's just have a little look-see then. Wait. Shaking my head furiously, I cast out that sudden impulse. That was a terrible idea, pure and simple. Entering the apartment unannounced was bad enough, but walking all the way in, opening that sliding door and peeking inside, that was just too much.
っていうか、
Man,
このタイミングでゆい先生が外から帰ってきたりしたら、俺結構まずい。
Miss Yuri happened to come home and find me standing in pretty hot water, huh? Get out already.
じゃなくてだいぶまずい。
I'll be in plentiful, dense, scalding water. When I mewed, as if in agreement. Mewed. Panicking, I once again surveyed my surroundings. I almost felt like there were eyes on me, staring with disdain. Cats, yes. But of course, nobody was there.
あ、そうだ。
Right.
書き置きを残していけばいいんじゃないか？
I can just leave a note. Wondering why I didn't think of this sooner. Dug into my bag for some paper and a pen. There we go.
山崎先生から頼まれたのでって書いておけばいいんだよな。
Mr. Yamazaki asked me to come by. That should be enough, right?
俺のノートでいいや。
I'll just use some notebook paper. Let's see.
ゆい先生
Yui. Crouching in the doorway, I ran my pen across the page. I brought class notes at Mr. Yamazaki's behest. Everyone has been worried about you. Sorry about barging into your apartment.
あと不用心だから鍵はかけた方がいいと思いますと。
Please don't forget to lock your door from now on. As I was writing the note, I sensed a presence in front of me. Until just a moment ago, this house had no signs of human life in it. But now I could feel someone standing directly ahead. Standing and looking down at me. Fidgeting nervously, I put down my pen. Raised my head slowly. And saw a white, slender ankle. Shocked, I shot my head up, and there, standing before me, was Mizui. Oh, that's right, she's having a fever dream right now.
先生。
She was looking right at me, but she seemed decidedly out of sorts. Her hair looked disheveled, her gaze was unsteady, and her pajamas were in complete disarray. She was like a completely different person from the usual camped educator we'd come to know and love. Biohazard-chan, yeah.
ゆい先生、俺勝手に入っちゃって。
I'm so sorry to enter without your permission. Here. I stood up frantically and held out the note I'd been writing. But... Mizu was just standing there, stupefied, with a completely vacant expression on her face.
先生。
I called out to her as gently as I could. But... She was really dazed. She seemed almost like a ghost.
先生、どうしちゃったんだよ。
What happened to you? Called the flu. I had a sudden uneasy feeling, worried. I walked up to Mizui, grabbed her shoulders, and tried to snap her out of it by shaking her. But instead... Biohazard. Time to become all the ill.
うわ。
This just seemed to make her cough. Her ASMR biohazard. Right in your ears.
先生。
These are wet, productive coughs, and spit was shooting out of Miss Yui's mouth with each one. I frantically tried to shield my face from the spray, but my reaction time just wasn't quick enough. When did this come out again? Hold on. 2018. Okay, this is right before COVID, but I played it during COVID stuff. I did, yeah. I put a hand to her cheek and found it thick with a slimy film of saliva.
大丈夫？ゆい先生。
Are you okay, Miss Yui? Miss Yui hobbled back a little, then fell to her knees with a thud. She'd completely sprawled out in the hallway, moaning and groaning the whole time.
先生。
Wiping the spatterings from my own face, I leaned over and took a better look at hers. She just, yeah. Oh no. Mob is the one leaving those, yes. It was bright red. Strained breathing, a stuffy nose, and a visibly high fever on top of it all. She was sick as could be. Cold.
寒いの？でも汗かいてるよ。
You're dripping with sweat.
寒い。
Cold. I thought maybe her sweat had cooled her down, but then realized her disheveled pajamas certainly weren't doing her any favors. With heart pounding a mile a minute and a face red as a traffic light, I set about buttoning her up.
ゆい先生、俺のことわかる？持田だよ。
You know what this is, right? It's Moshida from school. Oh no.
寒いならちゃんと布団で寝ないと。
If you're cold and you sleep under your covers.
出ないと治るもんも治らないって。
Otherwise you won't get any better. She's absent-mindedly extended her shaking arms like a zombie, slowly reopened her eyes and looked up at me. It was the gaze of a severely fevered mind.
ゆい先生、
Yeah, that's the name.
え？
What?
うわー！ え？
Miss Yu was clinging to me tightly. I couldn't move. I was frozen in shock. She began to weep. You cover me, Tsukasa.
え？つかさ？
Who's Tsukasa?
嬉しい。よかった。
What a lovely surprise. I'm so glad you're here.
先生待って、人違いだよ。
You got the wrong person. It seemed like I wasn't getting through to her at all. Shrug. And the sensation of that she held me was making it virtually impossible to fight her grip. Thanks, Japan. You can't help yourself, can you, huh? I was utterly powerless against his opponents. I never realized before just how soft a woman's chest really was. God, am I that weak-willed? I had to remind myself that Mizui had me confused with someone else. Mustering all the strength I could, I gripped her arms and tried to pry them off of me. But she was a lot stronger than I anticipated, and wouldn't let me get away.
怖かったよ、司くん。
I was so scared, Tsukasa! I was so scared!
怖かった？
Scared?
まさか来てくれるなんて思わなかった。
Ever thought you'd actually come? The only person who's making this weird is Satoshi, self-insert Kun. That's the only one who's making this weird.
うわ！
As she squeezed me tightly, I felt as though my upper body might collapse under the pressure of her softest parts. Okay, Japan. I was blushing uncontrollably.
ゆい先生、ちょっと離れて。
Please let go. I won't.
先生ってば！
Come on, Miss Yui. I struggled to wriggle free. Miss Yui only grabbed me tighter. Our bodies were getting more and more intertwined. And every time I squirmed, Miss Yui would just pull me in even closer.
司くん。
うわ！
Are you done yet? As her chest rose and fell erratically, I dropped as the sweat slid down onto her. Yes, okay. I could feel the heat of her fever radiating off of her steadily encroaching face, as well as the shoulders I'd grabbed in an effort to push away.
そばにいてスカタ君
Stay here with me, Tsukasa, please.
だから人
I'm
違
waiting
い
for the flashback. I'm telling you, you've got the wrong person. Questions were swirling around in my head. Why was Mizui crying? And who was this Tsukasa person? But I was most concerned for the state of her pajamas, which had become even more disheveled during our struggle.
先生パジャマズボ
Your pajamas, your pants.
ンずり落ちてるから
They're sliding down.
司君あったかい
Thanks, Japan. It's so warm.
ゆい先生ってば
Please. Realizing that not a single word was getting through to her, I sighed resignedly. I'd taken care of Yuka any number of times when she'd caught a cold and drawn a fever, but I don't recall it ever getting this bad. Don't compare Yui to Yuka! Don't insult her that way. Mizzy was usually calm, collected, and rational. Who would have ever imagined that a fever could leave her so thoroughly discombobulated?
ゆい先生ちょっともう
Seriously, pull yourself together. I put more strength into my resistance, and finally, her arms relaxed just the tiniest bit. But her expression changed drastically.
やだ
No, please.
先生俺は持田聡で
I'm-
司って人じゃ
I am Satoshi Mochida, not this.
行かないでや
Please don't go, please. Mizuo was acting like a spoiled child. Slipping out of the shoes I'd still been wearing, I again drew close to her sprawled out form. There was no way I could just leave her here like this.
後で気がついて怪しまないでくれよ
I sure hope none of this seems too sketchy after your fever breaks.
だ
Mizuo let out a lethargic groan, perhaps in response to my quiet murmurings. At my wit's end, I grabbed hold of her and did my best to carry her into the back room, gently wheeling her over to her unfurled futon, and then carefully laid her down, making sure I didn't drop her in the process. Then there was the matter of rebuttoning those pesky pajamas again. I hesitantly pulled up her pajama bottoms and brushed away the stray hairs that were plastered to her brow with sweat. I'd done my best to avoid seeing anything I shouldn't, but I am a guy, so my heart was pounding the whole time. Mizui's pajamas were soaked through with sweat. She really might have been better off with a change of clothes altogether. But no, that would have been going way too far.
タオルとか何か拭くものでもあればって
Wish I could find a towel or something so I could at least wipe some of that moisture away, Noticing a convenience store bag carelessly tossed to the floor, I glanced inside.
なんだ冷却シート買ってきてあるじゃん
She already bought cold packs.
なんで使ってないんだかもう
Why wasn't she using them? Jeez.
先生ヒヤッとするけど我慢してね
This might be a little cold, but bear with me, okay?
これでよしと
There we go. Everything's okay. Disaster averted. Everything is better, and the cat is here too. Yeah, right. Also this cat. Right, I think that'll help. Alright, so now Mr. Makoto Kedoin has gotten through his the thing he needs to get out with this chapter. We can get on with the chapter now of where it's supposed to go. Okay? I placed one of the compresses on her forehead and pulled the covers over her. Miss Yui appeared almost instantly relieved. She exhaled contentedly, and her breathing became more relaxed. Finally, she was asleep. Good job. Even in sleep, Miss Yui seemed to be suffering.
モネ、
Monet,
なんだ先生が心配か
were you worried about your master?
だよな。俺もここまでひどいことになってるとは思わなかったよ。
I don't blame you. When Mr. Yamazaki said she was sick, I had no idea it would be this bad. When I had coiled up on my legs without me noticing, I began absent-mindedly speaking to him. He mewed in response, and our conversation ended there, as my gaze was still fixed squarely on Ms. Yui.
さて、
So,
どうしようか。
what do I do now?
ゆい先生。
Sleep.
俺、このまま帰っても大丈夫？
You okay to be alone right now? She wasn't in any condition to respond. But
ゆい先生。
Miss Yui's hand had slipped out from under the thong and was gently grasping my pant leg. Hey. Her grip was much weaker than before, but I knew I'd probably regret it if I went home now. Miss Yui just seemed really lonely.
仕方ないな。
Guess I'll settle in then. Without disturbing Miss Yui's hold on me, I took a seat beside her. For the time being, I figured I'd watch over her and make sure her condition didn't worsen. Occasionally, Miss Yui's breathing would become ragged, and she'd furrow her brow. She was in a pretty bad way.
辛そうだな。
Poor thing. Wasn't there anything else I could do? I glanced quietly down the hallway. I noticed when I carried Miss Yui here that the kitchen near the entrance was perfectly neat and tidy. There wasn't any indication it had been used that day at all.
飯食ってるのかな？
Wonder if she's eaten anything. Monet's gaze shifted suddenly. I followed it and saw pet bowls laid out in the corner of the room. One dish was filled to the brim with water, and the other was piled high with dry cat food.
なるほど。モネはちゃんと食べてるんだな。
I see someone's eating well around here, huh?
熱出してあんな状態になってても、お前のことはちゃんと考えてくれてるんだな。
Even delirious with fever, she's still taking real good care of you.
でもさ、ゆい先生。
That's not good, Miss
ま
Yui.
ずは自分の食事の心配をしようよ。
You should be thinking about your own meals first. That's not how it works. I shook my head at the whole situation and glanced down at Monet, who was tilting his head as if trying to understand me. I broke into a wry smile. When I'd pulled out the cold packs, I did notice some cheap convenience store food in the bag as well. I guess that was going to be her food for the day. Not exactly the best stuff to eat when you're sick.
米と、あと卵くらいはきっとあるよな。
There's rice and eggs at least.
卵がゆでも作ろ
Maybe I'll make egg porridge or something.
う。先生、キッチン借りるよ。
May I borrow your kitchen? Her face was bright red, and her half-pained, half-contented noises provided me with no clear-cut answer to my question.
仕方ない。ゆい先生の代わりに、モネに許しをもらおうかな。
Don't think I'm gonna get much out of her. What about you, Monet? How about you?
モネ、キッチンを借りていいか？
Do I have your permission to use the kitchen?
ありがとう。
Excellent, thank you. Monet's cries helped assuage my guilt over entering a woman's apartment and borrowing her kitchen. Not that I had any reason to feel guilty. I don't think, anyway. I mean, circumstances were what they were. Still, I had this nagging sense that I should have somehow felt bad about what I was doing.
ゆい先生、ごめんな。
Excuse me, please,
ちょっ
Miss
と
Yui.
離れるよ。
I'm going to need to get up. One by one, I gently peeled off each of the fingers latched onto my pant leg. The expression on her face changed as I was doing so, from contented rest to mild annoyance. But there was nothing to indicate that she might wake up.
よし。
Right
作るか。
Let's see what we can do, shall we? As I stood up, Monet mewed happily and began tagging along at my heels. Biohazard explosion. And Mizui, now resting by herself in the bedroom, let out a sudden sneeze. Episode 3 Encounter! Uh-huh. Okay. We're in the flashback fever dream land now. Okay. We made it.
ちょっとゆい
Come on, Yui.
かかったよ今くしゃみ
Gross. I just got sprayed.
ごめんごめん
Sorry, sorry.
鼻がムズムズするの
Got a real tingle in my nose today for some reason.
まったくもう
Honestly. My goodness, she's having a fever dream about being a biohazard. Okay.
ティッシュティッシュ
Tissues.
あれどこやったっけ
Where'd I put them?
ああなければ私の使ってよせめてものお詫び
Wow, did I get that much on you? Here, use one of mine. It's the least I can do. Jeez, you didn't cover your face at all? Wow, gross. Disgusting. You should feel ashamed of yourself.
やったじゃあ私使う
Wait, don't mind if I do.
私も持ってないよティッシ
She
ュ
was
ちょう
talking
だ
to
い
me. May I have one too, please?
はい
Let's see, here we go.
サンキューあんたたちねティッシュくらい常備しときなさいよ
You guys really should keep exercising, you know.
面目ない
Oh, sorry.
まったく
Honestly.
それで何の話だっけ
What were we talking about again?
そうそうだからさとうとう3年になっちゃったよねって話
Remember, we were talking about what it's like to be seniors now.
ああだね
I know,
あ
right?
と1年で卒業か
Can it really just be one more year before we graduate?
卒業もだけど私たちそれよりもっと考えなくちゃいけないことがあるじゃない
Graduation is important. Don't forget there's a little life afterward to think about as well.
進路よ
Our careers.
いや
No.
聞きたくない
I really don't want to think about that.
正直さ進路相談何回受けたって将来のことなんかはっきりしないっていうかさ
There is a reason we'll be subjected to all those career counseling sessions because our futures are just big question marks right now.
だよね
No kidding.
どうするかな本当
What are we gonna do with our lives? It's scary.
ゆいは
Any
も
ideas,
う
Yui?
進路とか決めてる
You have any plans for the future?
実はね
Actually,
もう決めてるんだ
I've got it all figured out.
え
What?
何ゆい何になりたいの
Don't leave us hanging out with it, girl.
私はね
Wow.
私の名前は宍戸ゆい17歳将来の夢は先生になること
My name is Yui Shishito. I'm 17 and my dream is to be a teacher.
あまりよく考えずに人のことに首を突っ込んでは空回ってることが多い私だけど
But into the lives of others, without a second thought, and I spend most of my time doing nothing important.
でもそんな私でもきっと頑張れば夢が叶うって信じてる。
But I believe this. Even someone like me can make her dreams come true with enough hard work. She started the academy 5 years ago. The cherry blossoms were in bloom, and the rustling wind carried with it soft warmth of the season. I was a high school senior now, and was devoting myself to my studies in preparation for the day my dream could become reality. And that dream was to become an English teacher. My grades were on the fence for getting into the university I wanted, though. So my best bet was to score a special recommendation from the academy.
はあ、よかった。
I was a
急
lucky
に
break.
呼び出されたから何事かと思ったよ。
When I got called to the office, I had no clue it might be a bell.
ある日の放課後、私は職員室に呼び出された。
After school one day, I was summoned to the teacher's staff room.
何かヘマをやったのかとか、成績が志望校に及ばないとか、そういう悪いことを言われるんじゃないかってビクビクしてたんだけど、
Freaking out that maybe I'd failed or my grades weren't good enough for the school I wanted to go to or something terrible like that.
私の予想に反して呼び出された要件はとてもいいものだった。
But it turned out all my fears were for naught.
うちの学園からはライバルはいなさそうだから
You have no
この
rival
ま
in
ま
our
頑張れ
academy.
ば推薦してやるぞ
They said, so if you keep working hard, we'll be happy to give you a recommendation. Man,
なんかやる気出てきちゃった。この調子で頑張らないとね。
if it ever pick me up, I feel like I could take on the world now. I'm gonna have to make sure I don't let this chance slip me by.
それにしてもゴミ箱ってどうしてこんなに重たいんだろ
So with this trash can, why exactly is it so ridiculously heavy again?
う。ゴミ捨て場まで持っていくのも一苦労だよ。
Carrying this piece of the dumpster is going to be the death of me.
なあ
突然声をかけられてゴミ箱を抱えたまま振り返る。
I turn around,
それは今まで話したことのない男子生徒だった
still holding the garbage
で
can.
も見かけたことなら何度もある。
The voice belonged to a male student I had never spoken with before. I'd seen him around a lot though.
彼は7組の三國司くんだ。
His name was Tsukasa Mikuni from class 7.
そこ足元根っこが出てるから気をつけな
Watch your step. There's a root sticking out of the ground here. It's pretty easy to trip on.
え
Too late. Become trash.
あ
You just dropped the deagle.
ちょっとそこ笑うとこ
What's the big idea laughing at someone else's misfortune?
だってよ
Well, it's... yeah.
もうそこはさ大丈夫かとか聞いてくれたって
Not funny. Shouldn't you be asking if I'm okay or something?
悪い悪い
My bad, my bad.
あいいよそんな手が汚れるよ
You don't have to help clean up. You'll get your hands dirty.
別にいいよそんくらい
Don't worry about it.
笑った詫びに手伝う
The least I can do after laughing like that.
ありがとう
Thanks.
うん
No
これ
problem.
で全部拾い終えたか
That should be everything, right?
もう大丈夫
Yeah, looks like it.
じゃ行くぞ
Cool, let's go then.
あ
I remember it well even now. This is my first time talking with Tsukasa, and he left a strong first impression on me.
ごめん重たいよね
It's really kind of you. Isn't it heavy though?
別に
Not especially.
やっぱり自分で
I am the one assigned to take it. Maybe I should...
いいって
It's fine, really.
はい終了
Everything in its place.
ありがとう助
Thank
か
you
った
so
よ
much. You're a huge help.
じゃあな
Catch you around.
あちょっと待って
Hey, hold up.
あ
お礼させてよ
I feel like I should do something nice for you in return.
いいよ女のこれくらい
Don't
で
worry about it. Your thanks is plenty.
いいから
Look,
ちょっと待っててね
just wait there a second, okay?
ん
友達が増えるというのは嬉しいし楽しいその相手が三國司くんというのも嬉しかった
Making a new friend is always
司くん
great.
のことは実は少し気になっていたから
But when it happens to be Tsukasa Mikuni, it's all the better. He'd kind of been on my mind for a while.
よいしょ。
Here you go. Most of the times I'd seen Tsukasa before this were in the school courtyard. He spent a lot of time there, sitting alone on a bench. Even after school or during summer vacation. If I happened to pass by, I would always see him there. And after this little encounter, we'd go on to make many fun memories together. Yet somehow, the image of Tsukasa that stands out most in my mind is of him seated alone on that courtyard bench.
はいどうぞ。
You,
コーヒー牛乳でよかった。
oh, cafe au lait is alright.
まあなんでもいいけど。
Sure, I guess.
Thank
It's
you.
fine. Really. Thanks.
これは私からのお礼なんだから黙って受け取ってくれればいいの。
You know, it's customary when receiving a gift to quietly accept it without any offhanded remark.
義理がたいやつ。
Aren't we a stickler for tradition? We walked to the bench together, sat down, and began making small talk. That courtyard bench was a sort of mystical place. The leaves rustled over your head, and if you closed your eyes and opened your ears, it felt as though you were in the middle of some forest. And then if you looked straight up, the sunlight poured in through the leaves, and you almost felt like you were in another world.
初めて座ったよこのベンチ。
It's the first time I've ever actually sat on one of these benches.
なかなかいいだろ
Pretty nice, right?
素敵な場所。
It's lovely.
だよな。
Yeah, it really is.
だからなの？
So is that why?
この時間とか昼休みとかよくここにいるでしょ。
We come here an awful lot, right? Like even after school and during summer vacation.
あ
I sure do.
この場所好きなんだね。
So you must really like this place then, huh?
あまあね。
I guess I do.
そっか。
Then there we go. The leaves rustled as a gentle breeze blew between us. We were both silent for a bit, but strangely, it didn't feel awkward or uncomfortable.
聞かないのか
So aren't you going to ask?
ね？
Ask what?
いつも一人で何してんだって。
What I'm always doing here by myself or something.
この場所が好きだからいつもここにいるんだよね。
You're always here because you like the spot, right?
そうだけどさ。
Well, yeah.
他に何か理由があったりするの？
Is there some other reason then?
ないよ。
Not really.
じゃあ聞く必要ないじゃない。
So what's the point of me asking?
そうだけど。
Well,
ほら普通聞くだろ
you
一
got me
人で
there.
そんなんつまらなくないかとか意味わかんねえとか変わってるなとか
People only ask me if it's boring being here by myself or tell me that they don't get it or say I'm a weirdo or something. Really?
そんなこと思わなかったな。
I don't know, I guess.
ここが好きなら一人でいたって別に変じゃないよ
I
ね。
guess I don't think of it that way. The way I see it, if you like it here, then why not come here whenever you can?
お前変わってるな
Guess that makes you the weirdo then.
いやそんな顔しなくても
Hey,
今のは俺的褒め言葉だから
don't make that face coming from me. That's a compliment.
変わってるが褒め言葉？
Calling someone a weirdo is supposed to be a compliment.
そうそう
You bet it is.
なんか納得いかないな。
I'm not sure I buy that.
もう
You're mean. The expression on Tsukasa's face was a dead giveaway that he really enjoyed talking to me. And I've always loved the feeling I get when I know my words help brighten someone's day. He must have been sporting one hell of a goofy smile at that moment.
本当はさ
Actually,
この学校でもっと好きな場所があるんだよ
there's a place at the school that I like even more than here.
どんなところ？
What's that?
秘密
Not telling.
え
What?
とっておきだからな
It's my special place.
ってことはそこも超素敵な場所なんだよ
Which
ね。
means it must be a totally awesome place, right?
あ
Yeah.
いいな。どこ？気になるよ。
I really want to see. Come on.
あダメ
No
そう
way.
簡単には教えない
Can't spill the
それ
beans
に
that easy.
いつでも見れるってもんじゃないんだそ
Besides,
この景色
the view there isn't nearly as consistent.
司くんは笑いながら紙パックのジュースを飲み干すと
What?
ベンチから立ち上がった。
Tsukasa
そして
finished up his
目
drink,
の前にあったゴミ箱をひょいっとつかみ私を振り返る。
then grabbed the now empty trash can he'd carried to the dumpster for me.
コーヒーをおごってもらったしな。
You treated me
つ
to
いでに
coffee,
教室まで運んでやるよ。
so please allow me to take this up to the classroom for you.
いいの？
What? You sure?
ああ、
Yeah, bet.
ありがとう。あ、私のクラスはね、
Thanks. I'm in class
4組だろ？知ってる
4,
よ。
if I'm not mistaken.
シシドユイっつったら有名だからな。
You're the famous Yu Shishido after all.
どうして？
How did you?
今から先生みたいな女子がいるって、12クラス全部で有名だよ。
You're that girl who already looks like she could be a teacher. I don't think there's a student in any of our 12 classes who doesn't know your name. You're famous.
それから私と司くんは何度か中庭で会っては話をした。
From then on,
校舎の中ではすれ違ってもほとんど話すことがないのに、中庭では不思議と話が弾む。
Tsukasa and I met in that courtyard many times. We didn't really talk in the halls, but something about that place spurred our conversation.
あ、またお前コーヒー牛乳かよ。
Real late again?
好きすぎだろ、コーヒー牛乳。
Didn't that get a little old?
そんなことないよ。
Not really.
1日に最低2本は飲んでるくせにか？
You drink at least 2 a day though, right?
なんで知ってるの？
How'd you know that?
自販機でいつもそれ買ってるの。
It's
こ
in
こ
my
か
own
ら見え
eyes.
るんだよ。
It's a perfect view of the vending machine from here after all. There is?
ほら、そっち見てみ。
I mean, it's right there.
本当だ。
Oh, no kidding.
昼休みも放課後も
Doesn't
い
matter,
つもシシドがコーヒー牛乳買ってるのバッチリ見てたからな。
doesn't matter if it's after school or summer break. Shishido buying cafe au lait is like old faithful. You could set your watch by it.
そんなことを言ったら
Got
私だって
addiction.
司くんがここのベンチに座ってるの
And
い
guess
つ
what
も
even?
見てたよ。
Because I always see you sitting on his bench.
いや、知ってるけど、
Why?
なんでまた言う？
You're about to call that again? Sharon?
お互い気になってたん
I
だ
just find it interesting that we both took notice of each other's quirky habits.
なんだそりゃ。
Weirdo.
中庭での会話はたわいのないものがほとんどだった。教室で友達と繰り広げる会話みたいにあんまり中身がなくて、でもすごく楽しくて。
Our conversations in the courtyard were usually just silly. It was like talking to a good friend in class, shallow but genuinely enjoyable.
この場所夏でも結構涼しいね。
It's always so cool here, even in summer.
夏とか言うな。
Don't mention summer.
あれ？
Don't
夏
mention
嫌い？
summer. What, you don't like it?
夏期講習が目前に迫ってたら誰でも嫌いになるだろ
No, it was a summer school right around the corner. That'd be enough to make anyone run for the hills.
まあね。
I guess so.
私たち3年生だもんね。
But we're seniors now.
夏だからって遊んではいられないよね。
It comes with the territory, you know. It's time. The time for fun and games is
う。お
over.
前は随分と楽しそうだけどな。
I don't know. You seem like you're still having a lot of fun to me.
私は夢に近づいてるって実感できて嬉しいよ。
I'm a bit of a special case. I'm just happy because I feel like my dream had actually come true.
ふーん。
私ね、人に勉強を教えるの好きなんだ。
Enjoy teaching
頼られるの
people
も好き。
and having others depend on me.
なんで？
Why's that?
お姉さんになった感じがするからかな。ほら、私一人っ子だし。
I guess it just makes me feel like a big sister or something. And since I'm an only child, you know.
ああ、うん。
Okay.
まあ頑張れば。
Well, good luck with that then.
はすっごいどうでもよさそう。
That was about as dismissive a comment as you can get.
だって人事だしな。
Not like I can do anything about it, you know.
そんなことを言いながらも、司くんはやっぱり優しかった。だって、私の夢を笑ったりはしなかったから。
Despite his occasional boorishness, I still felt that Tsukasa was a kind soul, if nothing else. He never actually laughed at my dream.
先生になりたいって夢を話すと、大抵の人は笑ったり、茶化したりで、
And in a
あ
high
まり
school
真
crowd,
剣に聞いてくれない。
most people don't take you very seriously when you say you're trying to become a teacher.
だけど、司くんは一度も笑わなかったんだ。
Tsukasa just wasn't like most people, I guess. He's not like other boys. What's that sound? A season was quickly turning into autumn. After the school day ended, the senior floor was always a lot more quiet than its underclassmen counterparts. Everyone was off studying hard at the library or with tutors. So one day, thinking no one else was around, I sat down in a lonely corner of the hallway. Initially, I had grabbed my shoes and left the classroom, intending to head home. But along the way, I just started crying. I was overwhelmed. My sobs echoed from one end of the hallway to the other.
この日、私は無事に志望校の推薦枠に入れてもらえることになった。
That day, I had finally received a special recommendation to my top choice university.
嬉しくて仕方がなかった私は
I was so
すぐに
excited.
友達に報告した。
I just wanted to tell
けれ
someone.
ど、いつもなら手放しで喜んでくれるその子がふと表情を曇らせた。
So I told my friend Tomoe, but her usually supportive demeanor took on a somewhat harsher edge.
私の前でそんなこと言うんだ。
Quit rubbing it in my
まだ
face.
私は夢も何も決まってないのに。
I'm still totally undecided about my future, right?
多分私はひどくショックを受けた顔になっていたのだと思う。巴はすぐにハッとしたように目を見開き、慌てて謝ってくれた。
My expression must have changed pretty drastically. Tomoe's eyes suddenly widened. She quickly
だから
apologized.
私も笑って気にしてないよってそう言ったのだけれど、
So I smiled and told her I didn't care. That's what I said anyway.
気にしてないわけがない。巴の言葉と表情が鋭い針のようになって私の胸をつく。
Tomoe's dismissive words struck me like a dagger to my chest.
私考えなしだったのかな。
So insensitive sometimes.
他のみんなも同じこと
What if everyone
思
else
ってた。
feels the same about me? I kept wiping the tears from my eyes, only for new ones to take their place immediately. Why didn't I think of this sooner? So many people were still facing uncertain futures with no real goals in mind, and I was completely oblivious to it. I was the one with a dream, running around like the cock of the walk and blabbing about my successes and aspirations. I wouldn't blame them if they hated me. Could someone that insensitive to the feelings of so many other people really become a teacher? Did I ever even have what it takes to begin with?
シシド？
声をかけられて振り向くと、そこには司くんが立っていた。
I quickly turned toward the voice that had called out to me and found Tsukasa standing there.
いつもは廊下であっても言葉を交わすことなんてないのに、この日はごく自然に声をかけてくれた。
We'd never said a word before in passing each other in a hall, but he spoke to me that day with no reservations, as if we were old chums. Chums.
司くん。
すごい顔だぞ。
Your face is a
ハンカ
mess.
チ
Do
は？
you have a handkerchief?
持ってる。
Yeah.
じゃあ顔拭けよ。
Then wipe your face.
うん。
Okay.
司くんが戸惑っている空気がひしひしと伝わってきた。彼を困らせたくなかったから、私はこぼれ落ちていこうとする涙を必死
As
に
his
拭く。
concern and confusion was clearly written on his face. I didn't want to cause him any trouble or worry him, so I began frantically wiping my eyes.
何かあったのか？
Did something happen? No.
何もないよ。
Everything's fine.
何かあったからそんなに泣いてんだろ？
You're crying an awful lot for someone who's got no
これ
problems.
は
No,
その
it's just
友達とちょっと気まずくなっちゃって。
there was a little misunderstanding between a friend and I.
でもすぐに仲直りしたから大丈夫。
We patched it right away.
これ
So
は
it's
さ、
alright.
あ、そう嬉し
Really?
涙みたいなものだから。
You know, something like tears of happiness, I guess.
ふーん。
嬉し涙って言えばね、私推薦枠に入れることになっ。
I've just found out that I got recommend. I'm not sure if I did it out of respect for Tsukasa or just because I wanted to change the subject, but I cut myself off mid-sentence. I was doing it again. What was I thinking? Now even Tsukasa was going to hate me for being a braggart. Hell, I hated myself. I was the worst, just the worst. What?
マジか。
Really? He was happy for me? A bit taken aback, I nodded firmly.
やったじゃんか。
You
おめ
did
で
it
とう。
then. Congrats.
うん、
Yeah.
あ ありがとう。
Thanks.
お、
ありが
だからなんで泣くんだよ。
So what's with the waterworks?
ふぅ、まだ推薦枠が決まったってだけで
Even with the
推薦入
resignation,
試があるんだろ
you still have to take an entrance exam, right? Yeah.
う。嬉し泣きするほど喜ぶにはまだ早いだろ
So isn't it a little early to be crying tears of joy? Yes.
そうだよね。
Maybe so.
でもそうやっておめでとうって言ってもらえたか
Really
Like
happy.
ら嬉しくて。
You congratulated me.
う。たく、
Come on. No.
ごめんね。
Sorry.
何が。
For what?
泣いたりしてわけわかんないよね。
For crying like this without even knowing why.
そう思ってんなら早く泣きやめって。
If you don't know why you're doing it, then how about you hurry up and dry those eyes?
もう大丈夫だから。
I think I'm fine now anyway.
たく、
I swear. As I rubbed my swollen eyes, a smile broke through, and Sakasa let out an exasperated sigh. Then, as if suddenly remembering something, his eyes lit up.
そうだ獅子堂、ちょっと待ってろ。
Wait here a sec.
うん。
Okay. Sakasa ran into his classroom, quickly reappearing in the hall again, just moments later. He was holding something.
お前にこれやるよ。
Here, I want you to have this.
鉛筆？
Pencil? In his outstretched hand rested a short, stubby little pencil. Not the sort of thing you'd expect someone to go out of their way to lend you. Now we're getting to the real plot. The pencil. Oh my goodness. Pencil. Never forget the pencil. It was pocked here and there with small scratches, but it still seemed to be in relatively decent shape considering how obviously well worn it was.
受験必勝鉛筆。
Pencil for guaranteed success.
受験必勝？
Guaranteed success?
これ使うと試験に受かるんだよ。
He's only a test and you'll pass for sure.
本当に？
Really?
ああ、
Yep.
如月学園に受かるのは難しいって言われてた俺がこれ使って受かったんだから間違いないよ。
They told me I never passed the entrance exam for Kisaragi Academy, but well, here I am, and I owe it all to this
じ
pencil.
ゃあこれ司くんが高校入試の時に使った鉛筆なんだ。
So this is the same pencil you were using back when you took your high school application tests?
そう、
Sure
経
is.
験新たかな鉛筆だぜ。
You really jerked out a miracle.
霊言新たか。
I assume you mean worked out a miracle, right? Not that that's a thing either.
あ、それだ。
Yeah, that.
それじゃあ
Anyway,
借りるね。
I shall
あり
happily
がとう。
take you up on your kind offer, thanks.
言っとくけど、
Listen,
貸すのは推薦入試までだからな。
I'm only
一
lending
般
to
入
you.
試の時は俺が使うから返してもらう。
Finish your test. You'll have to give it back afterwards so I can use it for my entrance exams. Okay,
だから推薦
whatever you
絶
do,
対受かれよ。
don't fail the exam. Right. Pencil.
鉛筆を受け取り笑顔でうなずく。今度は司くんも笑ってくれた。
I took the pencil and nodded, smiling. This time, Sakasa returned my smile. Lucky pencil!
人の気持ちまで勝手に思いやって背負い
You're a
込んで
really unique person, you know that?
悲しみまで自分のものにして
It's hard to believe how much you let other people's
お前みたいなの
problems
が
get to you.
先生になれたらいいのにな。
You'll make an amazing teacher. What? For a moment, I had no idea what he was talking about, but then it hit me. Tsukasa had somehow sussed out from our conversation that I was crying because I'd upset Tomoe. And he was turning that fact around to offer me encouragement.
頑張れよ。
Good luck.
負けんなよ。
Don't let it get to you.
頑張れって
Flutter.
言葉は辛い時にはプレッシャーになるから言っちゃダメってよく聞く。
I heard you shouldn't wish someone luck in times of stress as it just adds more pressure. That's why people tell actors to break a leg instead.
けれど私はこの優しい言葉が大好きだった。
I didn't care. Tabu or no, I cherish his kind words.
私頑張るね
Do my best.
司くん。
お
Glad to hear it.
この日から私はどんどん司くんに惹かれていった。
That's when I really started to fall for him.
彼は全然そっけなくてちっとも振り向いてはくれなかったけれど、
Didn't seem like he noticed, and there wasn't really an indication that he felt the same way anyway. I can still clearly recall the events of that day, even now. It was October, the day before my entrance exam. The weather outside had been miserable since morning, and visibility was all but non-existent. It would be a bad omen if I were to slip and fall on the day before the exam, so I decided I'd wear boots to school, just to be safe.
行ってきます。
See you later! When I opened the door, I was shocked to see a white-haired old woman lying on the ground. Oh, this is not Nagito. This is an old woman. Okay. I was concerned. I was like, wait, Nagito, what are you doing here? Oh, no, this is an old woman. Don't do this to me. I frantically rushed over to her side.
おばあさん大丈夫ですか？
Are you okay? Cross-dressing Nagito. Now I want cross-dressing Nagito.
しっかりしてください。どうしたんですか？
Stay with me. Come on, tell me what happened.
まさかひき逃げとか？
Was it a hit and run? The road running by my house was narrow and mostly used only by our neighbors. But it's not like it was closed off to outside traffic or anything, so a hit and run wasn't out of the question. I looked over the old woman's body as best I could. Fortunately, there were no signs of any serious injury.
よかった。事故とかじゃないみたい。
Doesn't seem like a car accident at least.
娘
Young lady.
はい。
Yes?
今日は学校へ行ってはならん。
Does not go to school today. What?
絶対に行ってはならん。
Just absolutely must not go. Huh? The old woman raised herself up slightly and spoke hoarsely. From the tone in her voice, she seemed terribly desperate.
だけど
But I have to.
今日は面接の最後の練習があってね。
Today's my last chance to practice for a college entrance interview. No!
行ってはならんと言っている。
Just stay home! Don't go!
そういうわけにはいかないよ。
I have to go.
面接は私が一番苦手とする試験だから。
The interview is the part of the exam I'm worst at.
それよりおばあちゃんどうしたの？
Please
お
tell
家
me
の
what's
人は？
wrong. Where's your family?
どうしてもか。
Will you... Will I?
どうしても行くというのか。
Will you go no matter what?
うん。
Yeah?
ならば
In that case,
せめて
please? Not knowing what to say, I nodded apprehensively as the old woman began digging through her pockets. She produced what looked to be a crumpled scrap of paper. As she was digging around, I noticed that her breathing had become dangerously ragged and began considering my options to assist her. Really, I should have gone back into the house and called my mom. But there was something about her that kept me glued to the spot. I sensed desperation hiding in that unbroken gaze.
これを
Must
受け取りなされ。
take this.
何？
What is it?
お守りじゃ。
Charm.
お守り？
Charm. The old woman clutched my wrist and forcefully pressed a scrap of paper into my palm. Tilting my head, I unfolded the scrap and looked carefully at it. At first, I thought I'd just been handed a piece of trash. Huh? But when I unfolded it all the way, I saw that it was actually a paper doll in the shape of a human being. And there was a name written on its torso. Yui Shishido. Yes, my name, written plain as day in easily legible brushstrokes.
どうして
Why
私の名前？
is my name on it?
お守りだからじゃ。
So we can protect you.
守る対象の名を書かねば身代わりにはならんだろう。
Don't write the name of the person you wish to protect. The charm won't work. Crazy. This is all crazy. I didn't understand any of it, save for one simple fact. This old woman was here specifically to give me this strange paper charm. As far as I was aware, we were total strangers to one another, but she clearly knew both my name and my address.
やだ。
No.
ごめんなさい。せっかくだけど、私これいらないから。
I know you came a long way to give this to me, but I don't want it.
いらない。やっと。
Want it? As I extended my arm to return the paper doll, I could sense her entire demeanor had changed. She raised her body up unsteadily from the wet asphalt.
どうしてじゃ。
Why not? Oh no. Nagito Ba-chan. Well,
わしが身を削って訪ねてやっているのに、なぜ誰もわしの言うことを聞かんのじゃ。
I've nearly killed myself bringing this to you. Why will no one listen to me? What is this voice?
受け取らぬなら絶対に天神賞に行ってはならん。
You must not enter Heavenly Host Elementary without this charm!
天神賞？
Heavenly Host Elementary?
そうじゃ。行くな。
Yes.
行くな。
You must not go! Don't go! As the old woman cried out, the paper doll fluttered lightly to the ground. Almost instantaneously, it became soaked through with rainwater. My name began to run and quickly turned into an illegible black smudge. Seeing this, the old woman grabbed and tore at her hair.
うわー、お守りが。
The charm!
これでもう抗う術は失われてしまった。
The way out has been lost!
おばあちゃん、
Ma'am,
落ち着いて。
please calm down.
よいか。
Listen,
絶対に天神賞に行ってはならん。
you must not go to Heavenly Host Elementary!
待って、おばあちゃん。私の学校は如月学園だよ。
I think it's
天
been some
神賞
mistake.
なんて知らない。
My school is Kisaragi Academy High. I've never even heard of Heavenly Host Elementary.
おばあちゃん。
Ma'am? She's this old woman is getting hag-ridden.
大変。
Oh God.
お母さん、お母さん、大変。
Mom, come quick.
どうしたの？
What's wrong?
家の前で知らないおばあちゃんが倒れてるの。救急車呼んで。
An old woman collapsed in front of our house. Call an ambulance.
わかったわ。
Okay. Certified old jerkin moment. Paramedics arrived in a matter of minutes. The old woman seemed to be unconscious by that point, however, So the EMTs brought out a stretcher.
お二人はこの方の関係者ですか？
Do either of you know this woman?
いいえ
No.
家の前で倒れていたので救急車を呼んだんです。
She just
身
crossed
元
into
は
our
分
house.
からなくて。
Never seen her before.
そうですか。
Alright.
では付き添いで乗車はされませんか？
Would you be willing to ride with her in the ambulance? The idea of making this old woman go to the hospital by herself just seemed like it would have been a shameful thing to do. Sure, she was a stranger. We'd had a lengthy conversation mere minutes before, so I couldn't very well say we had nothing to do with one another.
ゆい、あんたは学校行っといで。
We need to get to school.
でも
この方にはお母さんがついていくわ。
Don't
あ
worry.
んたは今日面接の練習があるんでしょ。
I'll go with her to the hospital. You have to practice for the interview today, right?
そうだね。
I guess I do.
それじゃあお母さん
Thanks,
お願
Mom.
い。
I'll leave her with you then.
え、
Good luck. I was a little hesitant, but I knew I really had to go to school today, no matter what. So I left a strange woman in my mom's care and, heading towards school, walked right by her stretcher. Suddenly, a hand rose from the limp form of the old woman and grabbed my skirt. Startled, I tried to jump away, but found myself ensnared by her terrible, bloodshot eyes. You must not go! After school, once my final practice interview had concluded, I reunited with my friends and engaged in the usual regimen of gossip and small talk.
ってことがあってね。
Can you believe that?
怖い。
That's really scary.
何よそれ。
The hell was wrong with her? When I described the events of that morning, everyone's eyebrows rose. They were hanging on my every word and yelping in unison at key moments.
ゆい、今日は家でおとなしくしておけばよかったんじゃない？
Maybe you should have stayed home today after all.
だって今日は面接の最後の練習があるからどうしても来たかったし。
But I had that practice interview. I couldn't miss that, you know?
何か起きないといいけど。
I just hope nothing bad happened.
やだ、やめてよ。何も起きないって。
What could happen?
思い出した。
You know what?
え？
天神症って言葉がちょっと引っかかってたんだけどさ、七不思議に出てくるんだよね。
When you
天
mentioned
神症。
Heavenly Host Elementary, I thought it sounded kind of familiar, and I just realized why. You know the Seven Wonders, right?
七不思議ってうちの学校に伝わる如月学園七不思議のこと？
Seven Wonders, you mean those urban legends about Kisaragi?
そうそう。
Yeah, those.
天神症って何？
Does Heavenly Host Elementary have some connection to them?
放課後のよしえさんって言うんだけど、聞いたことない？
One of the stories is called Yoshie After School. Oh no! Shinozaki Yoshie. Ever heard of it?
知らない。
Definitely not. Don't summon Yoshie.
私も知らないよ。
I never heard of it
どんな話
either.
なの？
What's it about?
如月学園が建てられる前にこの場所にあった天神小学校での話なんだけどさ。
Sachimon. Well, it takes place at Heavenly Host Elementary, which once occupied the same plot of land where Kisaragi Academy now stands. Okay.
その天神小学校で放課後校舎の見回りをしていた女の先生が誤って階段から落ちて死んだんだって。
It said that one day after school, a female teacher who had been patrolling the grounds slipped and fell down the stairs and died.
その日は10月のちょうど今日みたいに雨が降る放課後で、時刻はそう夜の7時を過ぎたあたり。
The accident took place on a rainy October day just like this one and occurred just after 7 at night.
こういう日はよしえさんが出るんだって。
Yoshie still appears on days like this.
天神小学校がなくなってしまったことに気づいていないよしえさんは如月学園の廊下を見回って歩いているんだよ。
Ever unaware that she died at Heavenly Host these many years ago, she now walks the halls of Kisaragi Academy, believing them to be her own.
やだ、それ本
Come on, no. Is it true?
当？まあ実際見たことがある人がいるから七不思議になってるんじゃない？
It wouldn't be one of the Seven Wonders if someone hadn't actually seen it, right? Seen it happen, right?
怖。
That's really creepy.
ゆい、
今日はもう帰ったら？そのおばあさんの言ってたことちょっと気になるし。
You're the only one who doesn't
ゆ
live
いだ
nearby.
け道が違うから一緒に帰れないじゃない？
So we can't walk with you. And given the stuff that old woman said to you,
だね。お年寄りの忠告は聞いておくもんだよ。
it's always best to heed the warnings of the elderly.
そうだね。
You might be right.
なんかゾワゾワしてきちゃったし、
Still feeling kind of
も
on
う
edge.
帰ろうかな。
Probably best to go home and check in with mom.
それじゃあ先に帰るね。
I'll
バイ
see
バ
you
イ。
guys later then. Bye.
バイバイ。
See ya.
気をつけてね。
Take care.
明日ファイトだよ。
Give it everything you've got tomorrow. Well,
私は慌てて荷物をまとめ教室を飛び出した。
I quickly packed up my things and rushed out of the classroom.
時刻は夕方5時になるところ。
It was already
外は
about
薄暗
5.
くなってきているけれど、階段の7時までにはまだまだ余裕があった。
It was getting dark out, but if Canister was to be believed, I had until 7 before anything bad might happen.
だから怖がる必要なんてないと、そう自分に言い聞かせて廊下を進む。
As I continued wending my way down the corridor, I just kept telling myself there's nothing to be afraid of.
それでも
Even
下駄
so,
箱にたどり着くまでの時間がやけに長く感じられた。
I felt like it took an extra long time to reach the shoe lockers.
あー、ダメだ。やっぱり怖い。
I'm such a scaredy cat.
ようシシド、
Shishido.
司くん。
今帰りか？
Heading home? Yeah.
なんだよその満面の笑みは。
What's with the big grin?
なんでもない。
Nothing. Hey,
途中まで一緒に帰ろうよ。
why don't we walk together? At least part of the way?
ああいいけど。
Sure. I don't mind.
やった。
Great.
司くんの顔を見たら一瞬だけだけど怖かったのが吹き飛んだ。こういう時男の子ってすごく頼りになるなって思う。
When I looked at Tsukasa's face, my fear vanished. But for a moment, there are the times when it's really nice to have boys around, I thought.
そばにいてくれたら心強いなって無条件に思わせてくれるから。
I felt that as long as he was by my side, nothing bad could
もちろ
happen.
んそれが気になってる人なら
Didn't
な
hurt
おさ
that I
ら
had a crush on him, of course.
雨は朝よりも弱まっていた。
The rain had let up since
その
that
中
morning.
を私たちは傘を差しながら歩く。
It was still coming down. The two of us walked side by side, umbrellas held high.
司くんとはたわいもない話でそこそこ笑ったりもしたけど、でも私はどこかぎこちなかったかもしれない。
Tsukasa was talking and laughing excitedly the whole time, whereas I probably came off as preoccupied. I'm sure it was
得
awkward.
体の知れない恐怖みたいなものがちらついて、
Fake sense
い
of
つ
fear
もみ
flicked
たい
inside
に
me,
振る舞えている自信はなかった。
and it was making me extraordinarily self-conscious. I'm certain it must have been reflected in my behavior.
シシド？なんかお前顔色悪いぞ。
You look kind of pale.
どうかした？
Did something happen?
ああ、
おい、
実は怖いことがあって、
Something scary happened.
怖いこと？
Something scary.
私の様子があまりにおかしかったのか、司くんは心なしか表情をこわばらせて私を見つ
Probably
め
seemed
た。
really on edge. Tsukasa was staring at me with this look of abject concern on his face.
真剣に話を聞いてくれようとしているのが分かって、
I was a little relieved
私
that he'd
は
asked,
ちょっと
though.
嬉しくなる。
And it felt good to tell him about what happened.
今抱えている恐怖をできることなら司くんと共有したかった。だから私は今朝あったこととカンナから聞いた怪談話を司くんに話し
I
た。
filled him in on all the details and explained how they related to Kanna's ghost story. I did my absolute best to convey the dread I was feeling.
だけど司くんは
But Tsukasa was, well,
はあ、七不思議ね。
seven wonders Kisaragi high, huh?
うん、
七不思議を信じるなんて
Do you actually
夢
believe
が
that
あっ
stuff?
ていいな。
Sometimes I wish I could see the world through your eyes.
ん？
司くんは怖くないの？
Don't think it's scary.
怖いっていうか
It's weird, sure.
妙だとは思うけどな。
But I wouldn't call it
でも
scary.
その謎のばあちゃんと七不思議なんて単なる偶然だろ
I wouldn't worry about what that old woman said to you. I'm sure it's just coincidence.
でも
But
あんま深く考えない方がいいんじゃね？
wouldn't it be better not to dwell on it either way?
そのばあちゃんは確かに気味悪いけどさ、
I mean, yeah.
ちょっと変わった人だっただけだろ。
Your encounter with her sounds like it was kind of unsettling, but she was probably just a little off, you know?
そういうんじゃなくて、
That's not the issue here.
解決方法を教えてほしかったわけじゃないよ。
I wasn't asking you to solve my problems for me. Wow, thanks. Yeah, typical guy problem. Trying to solve everything.
あのね、私は
Look.
話を聞いてほしかっただけな
I
の。
just wanted to vent, okay? I just wanted you to listen.
話なら聞いたじゃんか。
What do you mean? That's what I've been doing.
だから、
No.
そうじゃなくて、
Not like that.
はあ、わかんねえよ。
I don't
なん
get it.
か怒ってんのか？
Are you arguing about something?
男の子ってこういう考え方をする。
Guys always do this.
人によるのかもしれないけど、でも女子とは違ってすぐにこうすればいいじゃんって解決法を提示しちゃうのだ。
Varies from person to person, of course, but guys invariably jump right into looking for solutions to your problem or giving you advice on what to do. You know, despite like I'll talk a lot of shit about Kedoin with his need to do stupid shit in his writing, but being able to say this stuff actually kind of made me smile. Yeah.
結果、女子は言いたいことが言えなくて消化不良になってしまう。
At least during this era, all the way up to the end of, as far as Book of Shadows is concerned, he's still a good writer. I can't say this. I can't remember the same if he was, if he, for I still haven't gone. Will I ever do Blood Drive? Will I ever do Blood Drive? I don't know. As a result, girls often can't be totally honest with them, or don't want to be at any rate, and are forced to just bottle up their feelings.
私は司くんと恐怖を共有したかっただけ。
I only wanted Tsukasa to
司
share in
く
some
ん
of
が
my
一緒に
fears.
怖がってくれればそれでよかったのに。
If you were scared with me, that would have been enough.
この時の私は気にするなって言葉が司くんの気遣いだとわからなかった。
I didn't realize then that
めん
Tsukasa
どく
told
さい
me
のかなってむくれてしまったのだ。
not to worry was his way of showing concern. I just thought he was brushing me off, and frankly, that annoyed me.
朝に見たおばあさんの顔が、目が、しわがれた声が何度も頭の中でフラッシュバックする。
My mind flashed back over and over again to the face, the eyes, and a hoarse voice of that old woman.
それが怪談話で増幅されてじわじわと私の気持ちを暗くした。
Amplified and distorted by the ghost story, these images gradually darkened my mood.
あんなに怖い思いをしたんだからっていう甘えや八つ当たりの気持ちもあったんだと思う。
Maybe I was traumatized by the events I'd experienced, or maybe I was just frustrated and needed to lash out. I don't know. And yeah, like, it's really unfortunate. The guy has clearly shown that he's capable, but then he made Yuka exist. There's a lot of points where it's clear that he knows what he's doing, but he made Yuka. I was traumatized with the entire experience. Maybe I was just frustrated and needed to lash out. I don't know.
私と司くんはこの時初めて気まずい雰囲気になった。
But for the first time ever, things have become decidedly uncomfortable between the two of us. I just know that no matter what happens, Blood Drive cannot be worse than Yuka herself. No matter what. That's why there might be a chance I'll actually get to it eventually. I just have to get through all of this again, and Birthday Bash again, and then we'll see if I do it. See if I take that last step. That's how things have become decidedly uncomfortable between the two of us.
それじゃ、
Yeah.
私
Okay,
こっちだから。
This is me.
あ
Right.
あ、獅子堂。
He called out my name as I briskly walked away. I didn't really know why I was so angry or confused, but I did notice that his voice was tinged with concern.
なんかあったら連絡しろよ。
If anything should happen, feel free to contact me. I considered turning back for a second, but changed her mind and pushed forward in a huff, leaving him behind.
ただいま。
ゆい、おかえり。
Welcome back.
うん。
Greeting me at the door, my mother wore a somber expression. I could tell right away that something had happened. I stared at her with scrunched eyebrows for an awkwardly long time before she eventually, reluctantly opened her mouth to speak.
今朝のおばあさんね。
The little woman from this morning.
うん。
Yeah?
さっき亡くなったって
Hospital
病院から
contacted
連
me.
絡があったわ。
She passed away a short while ago.
嘘。
No!
残念なことだけど、
I'm so sorry.
あなたは明日の推薦入試のことだけ考えていなさい。
You need to stay focused on tomorrow's exam right now, though.
うん。
Yeah.
それじゃあのおばあさんの話はこれで終わり。
We should put this unpleasantness behind us.
ご飯にするから着替えておいで。
I'm getting dinner started now, so how about you go get changed?
わかった。
Okay.
それじゃあ私部屋にいるから。
Be in my room.
ええ。
I'll call you.
お母さんがキッチンへと引っ込んでいくのを見届けて、私はもぞもぞと靴を脱いだ。
I wish my mom would
気持
go
ちは
way back to the
一
kitchen.
層重くなっている。
Then wriggle out of my shoes. My mood had darkened even more.
司くんにあんな態度をとってしまっただけでも嫌な気分だったのに、あのおばあちゃんが亡くなってしまっただなんて。
Tsukasa's attitude was bad enough, but that old woman to have died. Returning to my room, I could have mustered the energy to do anything but collapse into my chair and sprawl out on the desk.
行くな
You must not go! There you go, the old woman ASMR right there in your right ear. The last thing the old woman had said to me echoed again and again in my mind. I began wishing I'd taken her more seriously. I should have accepted the paper doll and thanked her. I should have reassured her I wouldn't go to Heavenly Host Elementary. I mean, the place didn't even exist anymore. For goodness sake! For goodness sake! I was exhausted. Just having an Elise moment there. It was a hell of a day, and I no longer even had the energy to move. I needed to change out of my school clothes, but still sprawled out over the desk, my eyelids drooped and closed. I was out. With that noise again, I awoke with a start. The air in my room had gotten notably cooler, and I was shivering. I'm looking around the room.
寝ちゃった。
Must have fallen asleep. Rubbing my eyes, I glanced at my clock. The needles indicated it was 6:45.
もうこんな時間。
So it is this late? It was black outside my window, streaked with lines from the still pouring rain.
明日は晴れるといいんだけど。
Sure hope it's sunny tomorrow. Sunny for my exam. The weight of what the next day held for me came rushing into my mind. I'd practiced the interview process with my teachers quite thoroughly, but I was still really nervous.
そうだ。
Okay,
明日の用意しておかなくっちゃ。
I need to make sure I'm ready for tomorrow. There was still a little time before dinner. My mind swimming, I decided I'd take this opportunity to clean out all the notes and textbooks I wouldn't need tomorrow from my bag.
残しておくものは
Let's see.
学生証でしょ。
Student ID needs to
それ
stay.
からハンカチとティッシュ。
Obviously, handkerchief and tissues.
受験票も忘れずに入れて。 それからペンケース。
Gotta make sure I don't forget my exam ticket. Oh, my pen case.
嘘。
Oh crap!
ペンケースがない。
Where's my pen case?
学校に忘れてきちゃっ
Did
た。
I leave it at school?
さーっと血の気が引いた。
My face suddenly went pale.
別に筆記用具で困ったわけじゃない。家にはいくらでも代わりがある。
Really, I shouldn't have been too concerned over writing implements. We had tons at home.
だけど、あの中には司くんから借りた受験必勝鉛筆が入っているのだ。
But that case held a pencil that Tsukasa had given me for guaranteed success on my exam.
取ってこなくちゃ。
I have to go get it.
お母さん、
Mom,
私ちょっと学校に忘れ物取りに行ってくる。
I've got something at school, so I'm going to run back for a sec.
え
What?
もうすぐご飯できるわよ。
Dinner's almost ready.
すぐ戻るから。
That's okay, I'll come right home.
そう
Alright.
雨も降っているし
Still
気を
raining
つけ
though.
ていくのよ。
So be careful. I will.
あの鉛筆は絶対に明日試験会場へ持っていかなければならないものの一つだった。だから私は迷うことなく学校に戻る道を選んだ。
That pencil was one thing I absolutely needed to bring with me to the test, and so, without hesitation, I ran back down the road to school.
降りしきる雨の中、足元に気を配りながら全速力で走る。
I was sprinting as close to full speed as I could without
ち
slipping
ら
in
り
the
と
downpour.
頭をよぎるのは起きた時の時間だった。
All the while, the numbers on my bedroom clock ran through my mind.
6時45分。
6:45.
七不思議で語られていた時間は夜の7時。
And if Kanna's story was to be believed, Yoshie haunted the school building at 7.
校門前に着いて真っ先に時間を確認した。
As soon as I arrived at the gate,
校舎についている大時計が指し示す時間は6時55分。
I glanced up at the large clock adorning the schoolhouse. It was now 6:55.
放課後の吉江さんの怪談話が
Yoshie after
再び
school.
頭をよぎる。
I went over the whole scenario in my head again, as best as I could recall it.
10月、
After
雨が
classes,
降る放課後、
on a rainy day,
夜
in
7時。
October, 7 at night.
あのおばあちゃん、もしかしてこうなるのが分かっていて。
Did that old woman somehow know this would happen?
やだな、もう。
Get a hold of
怪談な
yourself.
んてあんなの作り話だって。
It's just some old campfire tale.
込み上げてくる恐怖を抑えつけるために声を出して自分を叱咤する。
I was talking to myself, reprimanding myself in an effort to quell the fear that was welling up in the pit of my stomach.
見上げた校舎に人影はない。
There wasn't a soul to be
こん
seen
な
on the
時間な
ground.
ら生徒はもう帰宅しているだろうし、
By
先
this
生だ
time,
ってどれくらい残っているのか。
the students had all gone home. I wondered if any teachers were even still around.
けれど廊下の電気はまだ全てついていた。
Fortunately,
あれだけ明るければそこまで怖い思いをしなくても教室まで行けるだろう。
the lights were all still on, and it was bright enough that I felt confident I could make it to the classroom without freaking
よ
out.
し、
Okay,
パッと行って
just
パ
went
ッ
up,
と済ましちゃおう。
grab the case, and come right back down. Speed run! I folded up my soaked umbrella and left it on the rack by the entrance, then changed into my indoor shoes. Then entering the brightly lit hall, I took another look around.
うーん、やっぱり生徒は誰も残ってないみたい。
Yes, I was right. Nobody's home. My deep sigh echoed through the deathly silent corridor. Ordinarily, the din of other students would drown out noises like this, but every little sound was coming through crystal clear at this late hour.
急がなくちゃ。もうすぐ
Hurry.
7時だ。
It's almost 7. I nervously sauntered toward classroom 34, picking up speed as it occurred to me to do so.
今朝のおばあさんね、
About that old woman from this morning.
さっき亡くなったみたい。
She passed away a short while ago.
その天神小学校で放課後校舎の見回りをしていた女の先生が誤って階段から落ちて死んだんだって。
It's said that one day after school, a female teacher who had been patrolling the ground slipped and fell down the stairs and died.
その日は10月のちょうど今日みたいに雨が降る放課後で、時刻はそう夜の7時を過ぎたあたり。
The accident took place on a rainy October day, just like this one, and occurred just after 7 at night.
こういう日は吉江さんが出るんだって。
And supposedly, Yoshi still appears on days like this.
天神小学校がなくなってしまったことに気づいていない吉江さんは如月学園の廊下を見回って歩いているんだよ。
Everyone aware that she died at Heavenly Hosties many years ago, she now walks the halls of Kisaragi Academy, believing them to be her own. Ooh.
もう何考えてるのよ私。
What's wrong with me?
七不思議なんて司くんも言ってたじゃない。
None of
深
them
く
bothers
考
me so
え
much.
ない方がいいって。
Tsukasa was right. I shouldn't dwell on this. Lightning flashed and thunder resounded with impeccable timing. I jumped in spite of myself.
とにかく
I just
パッと教室に行ってペンケース取ってこなくちゃ。
need to hurry up these stairs, grab the pancakes, and get the hell out of this creepy building. No ghost should show up in a well-lit building like this, right? And even if they did, It wouldn't be very scary under all these bright lights.
あのペンケースに入ってる鉛筆は明日の試験にどうしても必要なの。
You absolutely need that pencil for tomorrow's test.
だってあれは司くんがくれたお守りなんだもの。
My good luck charm, after all, is from Sakasa. I picked up the pace as I continued to head straight for room 34. Get out of my head, Hagito. Get out of my head, Hagito.
真っ暗だな。
Middle school.
やっぱり誰もいないのね。
The middle school is already pitch black. I guess there really is no one else around right now.
それにしても今日はいつもよりこの廊下が長い感じがする。ただでさえこの廊下で遅刻しそうになるくらいなのに。
That's why you wear headphones for this. This hallway feels longer today than it ever has before. Was it always like this? Can't imagine I'd ever be on time if it were. I continued my brisk walk down the impossibly long hallway toward my goal, jumping every now and again whenever another thunderclap sounded. For goodness sake! Kisaragi Academy was comprised of both a middle school and a high school, and this evening it really felt like it was flaunting its massive size. Didn't help that my classroom was in the high school wing, which happened to be past the middle school, making it seem that much farther away.
いつもは賑やかな場所がこんなにも静まり返っていると余計に物寂しい気がするな。
A building that's usually so full of life goes completely quiet. It becomes such a lonely place.
雨の音がやけに大きく聞こえるよ。
I swear I can hear every drop of rain. I was focusing on the scant few sounds around me as I paced down that long, lonely corridor. Then, all of a sudden, I heard a faint noise, as of someone playing an organ.
今の空耳だよね。
That was just my imagination, right?
そうに決まってるよ。
I mean, it had to be.
こんな時間に音楽室で楽器を鳴らす人なんているわけないし。
There's no way anyone would still be here practicing, right? I took a deep breath, trying to calm my nerves. It was probably the sounds of the rain, wind, and thunder mixing together. It just sounded like an organ, that's all. I was convinced. I kept walking. Then, I heard the same noise again, this time much more clearly. It was unmistakable.
嘘。やだ。
No way! I was paralyzed with fear. My heart was pounding as if it was struggling to break free of someone's sinister grip.
きっとまだ吹奏楽部の子とか先生が残って弾いてるんだよね。
Probably just
そうだ。
some devoted member of the
そう
band.
に決まってるよ。
Or a teacher is working late. I'm just being stupid. Thinking about it, I vaguely recalled someone mentioning an upcoming performance by the Wind Instrument Club. I guess an organ would qualify. Somebody must have stayed late to practice, that's all.
何でもかんでも怖い話に直結させちゃいけないな。
Can't get that damn ghost story out of my head. Organ is a wind instrument. Harpsichord is a string instrument. Piano is a percussive instrument. Yes. I took another deep breath and tried again to calm my overly jittery nerves.
怖いと思ったら何でも怖く思えるものだよね。
Anything can be scary if you think it is. I'd heard that if you let your imagination run too wild, fear can even make you see things that aren't there. Tell me about it. And my imagination was most definitely running wild.
あとちょっとで教室だから走っていこう。
Might as well sprint the rest of the way. Speed run! I decided to dash toward my classroom so I could get out of this hall as quickly as possible. Finally, reaching that familiar door, I swiftly opened it and flicked on the lights.
やっとたどり着いた。あとはペンケースを忘れないようにしなくちゃ。
I made it. Now I just have to be absolutely certain I don't leave here without that pen case again. Thanks to all my unexpected pauses to freak out over thunder and lightning, it took me far longer than it should have to get here. It was already well past 7.
7時か。
7 o'clock, huh? It was the appointed time when the ghost of a teacher was supposed to appear, at least according to the school legend.
何もないじゃない。
No one did educate us here. I let out a sigh of relief and relaxed my shoulders a bit. The lights were on both inside the classroom and out in the hallway. Sure, it was still dead silent, but the fear I'd been feeling had completely melted away.
全然怖くないよ。やっぱり七不思議だなんて嘘だったんだな。
Yeah, there's nothing to be afraid of. The 7 wonders aren't real. I grabbed the pancakes I'd come back for and shoved it into my pocket.
よし、これで任務完了だね。
Okay, mission accomplished. With my long ordeal behind me, more or less, I looked around the classroom and let out another sigh. I'd only ever known this classroom when it was bustling with activity, and thus found its eerie silence and utter stillness to be oddly fascinating.
教室に私一人って
Such a
な
strange
んだか
feeling,
不思議な感じがするな。
being alone in a classroom like this. I got the idea in my head to try doing something I normally wouldn't be able to, like standing at the teacher's podium and writing on the blackboard.
こんなシチュエーションめったにないし。
Chances like this don't come around too often, after all. To me, the area behind that podium, from which the teachers conduct their lessons, was like a sacred space. I dreamed of standing there myself one day, and could hardly resist its pull when presented with a rare opportunity like this.
今なら誰も見てないし。
No one's looking. To my classmates, this would seem like such a silly, stupid dilemma. But that didn't change the way I felt at that moment.
どうしようかな。
Should I or shouldn't I? Okay, finally we have the first choice. There we go. Wow, we have the choices now. Stand at the teacher's podium. Do it. Do it. Do it.
よし、少しだけ先生の気分を味わっちゃえ。
How can I pass this up? It's a chance to feel like a real teacher. I decided I had to try it. Doing daily cleanup and such, I'd come and gone from this spot countless times. This was the first time I'd ever had an opportunity to just stand here and preside over the classroom.
そうか。先生からはこんな風に見えるんだ。
This is how it looks to a teacher, huh?
なんかちょっとドキドキする。
It's kind of awe-inspiring. Gaining a teacher's point of view, in the most literal sense, was starting to get me really fired up. It may seem silly now, but this was my stage. This was where all my dreams would play out.
私もいつか。
Someday. I began to imagine the future that awaited me. Painstakingly detailing some new piece of knowledge for students sitting attentively at their desks. Gliding chalk across the board, filling it with information to aid them in their studies.
いつか先生になれるといいな。
I sure hope I can make the cut one of these days with the organs back. I was getting so excited that even I began to think my behavior was a little strange. Maybe it was the juxtaposition of these joyous, freeing visions and the prickling dread I'd been feeling up until just a minute or two before. But then, in the blink of an eye, one of these two conflicting emotions completely overpowered the other.
停電？
Is this a blackout? Suddenly, my surroundings were bathed in darkness. Going stiff with shock, I stumbled back a step. My back struck the blackboard with a dull thud.
いきなり何？
We're here now. What awful timing! We're here now. I instinctively grabbed hold of the rail where the eraser sat. I felt chalk dust against my fingertips. My panicked heartbeat was making it difficult to breathe. Was this caused by the thunderstorm? If so, it sure picked a fine time to turn the lights out on me.
しかもオルガンの音
What's more,
まだ響いてる。
I can still hear the sound of the
嘘
organ.
なんで
No,
停電になってるならオルガンだって鳴らないはずなのに。
it's an electric organ. How is it even possible with no power?
行くな
Get out of my head, Hagito. You must not go! Was this what that old woman was trying to warn me about? That's impossible. She was no fortune teller or psychic as far as I was aware. How could she possibly have known this would happen? Hell, even if she were a fortune teller or a psychic, predicting the future is the stuff of science fiction. I shook my head.
落ち着くのよ私。
Please calm down.
音楽室の方はまだ停電になってないとかきっとそんな理由だよ。
It's just this one lost power and the music room is still okay. That seems plausible, right? I curled my chalk-dusted fingers into a fist and silently tried to talk some sense into myself.
ともかく早く校舎を出よう。
Gotta get out of here. I shouldn't have been playing teacher. I should have been in and out by now. Cursing myself a little, I fumbled my way through the darkened classroom. I'd spent so much time in here. You'd think I'd be able to find my way out of it with my eyes closed, as it were. But sadly, that wasn't the case. Smashing loudly into a desk, I knocked it on its side and began tumbling after it, instinctively grabbing at the other desks around me for support. Oh no!
いけない。机の中身まき散らしちゃったよ。
Damn it, sounds like I knocked a lot of stuff out of that desk.
元に戻さなくちゃ。
Guess I need to put everything back. Still fumbling around blindly, I gathered up all the scattered notes, textbooks, and writing utensils.
でも暗くて何がなんだか。
I can't tell what's what.
もう何やってるのよ、急いでるのに。
It's so
本当
embarrassing.
に年なんだから。
What the heck am I doing anyway? Wasn't I supposed to be hurrying home? I'm such a klutz. I let out a sigh. I seem to be doing that a lot lately.
とこれは教科書と
This is a textbook,
ノートでしょ。
and this is a notebook, right? I was trying to take inventory of all the things I knocked out of the desk, then realized why. I might as well just stand it up. I might as well just stand it up and stuff it all back in.
さすがに全部を間違いなく元に戻すのは無理だな。
I couldn't possibly
明
organize
日
it
ここの席の子に謝らなくちゃ。
properly in absolute darkness. Better just apologize tomorrow to whoever sits there. Whomever. Not that that was a particularly pleasant prospect. Explaining what I'd done wouldn't be easy, and no matter how I sugarcoated it, it would serve as a clear indication of my clumsiness. If I didn't say anything, it's not like I'd be found out, but that would be the same as lying, as far as I'm concerned. And I couldn't do that.
とこれで最後かな。
Okay, I think about everything. I placed my hand against the floor and swept it around, feeling for anything I might have missed. And I found something, alright.
やだ。何これ。
What is
なん
this?
だかぬるぬるして。
It's all slimy. Ugh. I clearly brushed my fingers across something, but I had no idea what. It was no notebook or writing implement, though. That's for sure.
机の中からなんでブニュブニュしたものが。
Why would anyone have something like this in their desk? Maybe it had been on the floor all along.
なんだろう
What
これ。
is this stuff? I rubbed my sticky fingertips a bit deeper into the wet spot and brought my hand up close to my face so I could get a better look at what it was. What was there? What on earth did I just touch? There was a flash of lightning almost immediately joined by a roaring thunderclap. And with it, for a split second, the pitch black classroom was lit up bright as day.
血？嘘！
Is that blood? Oh no. I shot to my feet, utterly mortified. In that split second, I'd gotten a very good look at my fingers, and it really did seem as if they were covered in blood. But it wasn't just my hand, no. If my peripheral vision were to be trusted, it looked like the entire classroom was stained a deep, dark crimson.
そういえば、なんとなく生臭い気がする。
It kind of smells like blood in here, too. Without thinking, I backed away from where I'd been crouching. I tried rationalizing what I saw. How could a whole classroom become a bloodbath like this? Did something spill? Did someone stumble in here injured?
ありえない。そんな、何よこれ!
This isn't possible. It can't be. I mean, how? My whole body was quaking. I fled from the classroom. Or rather, I tried to flee.
開かない!
Why won't it open?
やだ
No, please, no.
鍵なんてかかってなかったのに。今だって鍵はかかってないよ。
I don't remember locking
そ
it
れ
in.
なのに
It wasn't locked,
ど
so
うして?
why can't I get it open? I pulled on the door handle again and again in a frenzy. I was pulling so hard, it felt like my fingernails might tear loose. But it just wouldn't budge.
なんで? なんでよ! なんでよ!
Please. I was absent-mindedly grabbing at my hair with one hand, slammed my fist on a nearby desk with the other. This was a nightmare.
何これ?
What is going on? Silence saturated the inky blackness of the room. I took several deep breaths in an effort to restrain my pounding heart.
とにかく一度落ち着かないと。
Calm down.
そもそもドアが開かないのだって私がこんなにパニックになってるせいかもしれないし。
I have to calm down. I'm probably just panicking because the door won't open.
さっきの変な塊だってきっと何かの勘違いだよ。だってありえないじゃない。教室に
I'm sure
あんな
just
わけのわからないものが落ちてるだなんて。
misidentified whatever that was on the floor. I mean, it's preposterous, right? There's no way something like that could be. I was certain that when I saw what it actually was, come morning, I'd end up being something. It'd end up being something totally random, like someone's old soda-stained gym clothes.
きっとそうだよ。
Has to be it. Yeah.
そうだ。指についたのだって美術に使う絵の具かもしれないじゃない。
I was just brushing against somebody's paint for art class or something. My imagination was just running wild because I was panicking.
もしかしたらドアに何かが挟まってて開かないだけかもしれない。
And the door probably just has something caught in it. That's all. I decided to check out that hypothesis by feeling my way across the door and determining if anything was jutting out from any of the cracks.
ダメだ。真っ暗で何にも見えない。
Not sure I can do without being able to see. Fumbled around the gaps in the door, but I just couldn't make anything out that would be doing this. And the classroom's rear exit seemed a world away.
他の出口は
Maybe there's another way out here. No, this is the third floor. I couldn't get out of this classroom without exiting into the hallway.
今すぐ外に出たいのに。
Let me out! I want out! Still at a loss, I noticed a sudden flash of light through the hallway window. But the glass was only translucent, so I couldn't be sure of its source.
誰か歩いてくる。
Somebody out there? Then there came the distinctive clump, clump, clump of footsteps.
そうだ。
Of course!
用務員さんだ。
Must be the custodian. I recalled the existence of a custodian who always patrolled the school grounds. I was sure he must have been taking a look around after the sudden power outage.
助かった。
Great, I'm saved! All at once, my fear-addled legs regained their strength. This nightmare would soon be over.
すみません。
Excuse me! I shouted to the custodian through the window as loudly as I could muster.
すみません。閉じ込められてるんです。
Excuse me, I'm trapped in here. I had to be sure he heard me. I shouted again. Finally, I could see the light out in the hallway again, and it seemed to be getting closer. However,
なんかこの光おかしい気がする。
something's not right about this. Perturbed, I took a step away from the window.
懐中電灯だったらもっと明るいよね。
That's a flashlight. Shouldn't it be
この
brighter?
光はなんだか
Kind of looks like the faint, unearthly glow classically attributed to spirits was what I was thinking. I tried to stop myself from finishing that thought, however. Dullness aside, it also looked like it was wriggling around in a very unnatural, very unflashlight-like way. How very unflashlight-like of you. Hmm?
それにこの足音。
And these footsteps. 4 clumps, then a 3 or so second interval, then another 4 clumps. They were sounding in a fixed rhythm.
用務員さんじゃない。
That's no custodian.
明らかに変な歩き方。
Nobody walks like that. Spooky OCD. The fear was back in full force. I had to find somewhere to hide. What if I'd accidentally summoned something inhuman? I mean, whatever that was, I begged it for help. I literally invited it in.
どこか隠れるところ。そうだ。
But where? Okay, I'm gonna go for it. Yeah. Let's completely trap yourself in the locker. That's never a bad idea, is it? Let's get one of them endings. Come on. Supply locker. I hurriedly squeezed myself into the metal locker where the classroom's cleaning supplies were kept. It was still pitch black in the room, so I really couldn't spare the time it would take to remove its contents. Instead, I just contorted myself to fit. Yeah, this is a great idea, isn't it? The locker was thick with the smells of mold and varnish.
でもここで息を潜めていればきっと見つからないよね。
I can hold my breath for just a little while. I think I'll be safe in here. So I waited. I waited for the footsteps to pass by and fade into the distance, signaling that it was safe to emerge.
ずっとこんなところにいたらむせちゃいそうだよ。
Whoever it is, better hurry. I feel like I'm going to suffocate if I'm in here much longer. Still, it felt a lot safer in the locker than it did out in the room. But the footsteps weren't receding. They were just getting louder, closer, faster. And then they came to a sudden halt.
Eh?
They were close, just outside the locker. I peered through the ventilation holes amidst the utter darkness of the classroom. There wasn't a soul to be seen.
大丈夫。ここにいれば大丈夫。
I'm okay. As long as I stay in here, I'll be fine. I'm not sure why I believed that. Maybe because I needed to. Maybe because it was so dark, or because I felt so much calmer in such a tight space, where nothing could possibly sneak up behind me. I didn't know why, and I didn't care. I just knew that, as far as I was concerned, I was safe in here, so I stood motionless and cramped, and I waited. I didn't have to wait long.
今なんか音がした。
Was that?
鍵がかかったような。
It sounded like a door locking. Suddenly apprehensive, I gently nudged the supply closet door, just to make sure it would still open for me when I wanted it to.
開かない。
It's locked.
見つけた。
Found you. I let out a sudden yelp at this unknown voice and tried with all my might to push open the door blocking my escape.
開かない。
No, please.
開けて。
Let me out. Let me out.
まだ残ってるの？
Is somebody still here?
居残りしてた罰よ。
You'll need to be punished for that. Ghost ASMR. There was a brief moment of silence following the eerie voice's unsettling proclamation. And then, the metal walls around me on all 4 sides began warping inward as if a supply locker had somehow been fed into a trash compactor. What's going on? There was no force I could imagine that should have been able to do this, but it was happening. This already confined space was steadily closing in on me. It hurts. Open the door! Let me out! The collapse of the locker all around me continued, slowly and steadily. I could feel all manner of things pushing and cutting into my body. My vision went bright red. One of the blood vessels in my eyes probably burst from the pressure. I wasn't going to last much longer. The ventilation holes in the locker door were now pressed right up against my face, and through them I could just barely make out the figure of a person. It was the old woman from this morning. She was standing just outside the slats, staring right into my eyes. It was the last sight I would ever see as the locker finally, inevitably, smashed in my skull. Crash, crunch, crack, splat! Thanks, Hagito. Which one is this? Two. Okay. Hagrid no more. So I need to not go behind the podium to get another. That actually did matter. Okay. Wrong end one. Okay. So back here.
どうしようかな。
Should I or shouldn't I? Leave the room.
ダメダメ。ここは遊んでないでとっとと学校を出るべきだよね。
I really don't have time to play around right now. I should get out of here. I decided it would be best to put my yearnings aside and leave the classroom behind.
七不思議だなんてやっぱり迷信じゃない。
A particular wonder turned out to be just nothing at all. Seems. I guess it's all just superstition. I couldn't believe I'd gotten all indignant with Casa over something so trivial. Thinking about it now, it seemed kind of ridiculous.
さてと、
Alright,
家に帰ろうかな。
time to head home.
今日は明日に備えて早く寝なくちゃ。
I have to get to bed early, so I'll be ready for tomorrow. With this in mind, I walked toward the classroom door and took one step out into the hall. When suddenly... The door slid shut on its own with incredible force, and my neck was trapped in the narrow opening that remained. I dug my nails into the door, frantically trying to open it back up. But the more I pushed on it, the more it pushed back, further constricting my neck. The door says no. I was swelling my lips, twisting and contorting my body, trying everything I could to escape.
なんで
Why?
なんで
My neck was clamped tightly. I could feel the blood rushing to my head. I couldn't breathe. Opening my mouth in terror, I stuck my tongue out as if trying to swallow the air. Forcefully shaking my head left and right, I swiveled my body to face the ceiling. That's when I saw the tall, pitch-black silhouette of a person. A silent scream squirmed its way out of my throat. But the door was still pressing onto my neck.
ダメ
I can't! Sometimes doors might just do that. That's all. Sometimes. It's very rare though. Welcome in. I can't, Casa. My vision whirled and I felt a sensation of falling at the same time. A lukewarm liquid began pouring over my face. As I was struggling to make sense of what was happening to me, the door that had been violently crushing my neck quietly slid open. The floor of this schoolhouse came down hard on my head. My vision had gone white and begun blurring, but I could still see.
私の体が見える。
I could see my body. I was rolling across the hallway, and there in the doorframe, I caught sight of my own headless torso collapsing in a heap on the floor.
何が
What
起こったの？
just happened? The last thing I saw out of the corner of one bloodshot, unfocusing eye was the familiar figure of the old woman from this morning. Hag-ridden. Again. What number is this? 1. There you go. So yeah, all the ends are in the same place, aren't they? Yeah. Let's have a look. Oops, hold on. Options. Options. This menu is incredibly slow. Ending list. So yeah, we still have 3 more of them to get. Okay. Continue. Load. Right. Back here again.
どうしようかな。
Down at the teacher's podium. Huh. Speed. Bang, bang, bang. Alright, there's no timer, so yeah, I can put this here. There you go. So, teacher's podium, go. I hurriedly hid myself beneath the teacher's podium. I grabbed my knees, curled up, and made myself as small as I could.
なんなの？一体どうなってるの？
What is this? What's happening? The footsteps continued to draw nearer and nearer. Little by little, the sound grew louder. Every hair on my body was standing on end.
このまま通り過ぎてください。お願いします。
Please just pass by, please. I held my breath, clasped my hands together, and silently prayed. They were close now, very, very close.
神様。
Please, God. Why was this happening? I couldn't make any sense of it. I just wanted it to be over. I prayed to God that it would end. Was this what the old woman was trying to warn me about? Was this all happening because I ignored her? Because I didn't take the paper doll from her? Was it because I'd heard the ghost story of Yoshie and allowed it to get to me? Or did the strange events of the day have nothing to do with what was happening to me now?
口から心臓が飛び出しちゃいそうだよ。
Feels like my heart is going to burst out of my chest. I was still holding my breath. I didn't dare let even the tiniest sound escape and give away my position. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, tap. The consistent rhythm of the footsteps suddenly ended halfway into one of its cycles.
Huh?
And it had ended right in front of this very classroom. I had goosebumps up and down my arms and legs. I stopped praying and clasped my hands over my mouth. I knew I'd scream if I didn't. Could this be Yoshie? Was the school legend real? All I could do was close my eyes, keep my mouth shut, and hope that whoever or whatever this was would just go away. But the footstep sounds didn't start again. If this was indeed Yoshie, then she'd stopped in front of the classroom and was just standing there. I had no concept of time anymore. I stayed in my hiding spot for what was probably only a few minutes, but felt like at least an hour.
足音が消えた。
Maybe whoever it was is gone. I decided to carefully peek out from under the podium. I gingerly edged my head out just far enough to get a glimpse of the room, when suddenly the footsteps rang out once more. It sounded like they were headed right for me, and they might have been inside the room. I honestly couldn't tell. I scrambled back into my hiding spot and covered my mouth with both hands. It's a lot of running. This was too much for me. My breathing was coarse and erratic, and my face was a mess of tears and snot.
神様、助けて。
You saved me, God. I was inconsolable. The footsteps just wouldn't stop. They were just jogging on the spot. They're doing their workout, okay? What on earth are they doing? It almost seemed like they were running around in circles just to scare me.
やめて。
Stop it. Please. Stop it. They're trolling. I mouth these words over and over again and move my hands to my ears in a vain attempt to block out this torturous sound. And as if in response, the sound changed. It was a loud, dull thud, followed by silence. No more footsteps. I'd heard that sound hundreds of times before. It was a classroom door sliding open. I peeked out, but the door was still tightly shut. How could that be? If the sound I heard wasn't the door, then what was it? What little safety I'd felt here was pretty much gone, but to be fair, I wasn't absolutely certain the spirit had seen or heard me either. The prospect of stepping out into the open wasn't a desirable one, but I had to decide if it was better to stay where I was or to make a break for it. Time to find another wrong choice. Make a break for it. Be stupid. Staying in one place for too long seemed like it would be inviting trouble, so I took a deep breath and reluctantly crawled out as quietly as I could. But almost immediately, I felt something tap. Something long and thin had struck me in the back of the head. Or perhaps struck isn't the right word. There was a little force behind it, but it wasn't a hard slam, more like someone trying to get my attention.
木の棒？
Is that
これは
wooden rod? Or
こ
no,
れは
it's
指？
finger? I knew I wouldn't like what I was going to see, but I had to face whatever this was, so I turned around. And there, looming over me was...
まだ残ってるの。
Is somebody still here?
早く帰りなさい。
Go home, child. A figure was peering down at me from above the podium, with one emaciated wishbone-like finger extended toward my face. I recognized this person instantly. No doubt about it. This was a strange old woman who'd supposedly passed away earlier. I was scared out of my mind, tumbled the rest of the way out from under the podium, and shot to my feet. A ghost! There really was a ghost in this school. My breathing was ragged and my heart was pounding so hard I thought it might explode. Plowing through all the desks in my way, I ran as fast as I could toward the classroom door. But that was as far as I could go.
どうしたの？
What's wrong? There, on the other side of the door, tight up against the glass, was the old woman. She was glowing bluish white, source of the light from earlier. But how in the world did she get to the door before I did? How did she get out of the room so quickly and position herself so perfectly to block my exit? So Hagrid. She'll listen to old Jochen. I felt like I was starting to hyperventilate and tried as best as I could to calm my breathing as my eyes darted about the room. That one time when old Jochen is right. I needed to get out of here now, to get as far away from this place as I possibly could.
前のドアから出られないとなると、外に出るには後ろのドアから出るしか。
The front door is blocked. Maybe I can get out through the back.
でもそうすると、廊下は前のドアにいるあの幽霊の後ろを通らないと出口にはつかない。
If I do that, I can't leave the school without running right past her.
そんなの無理。
There's no way she'd let me by. But I have to do something. I bit my lip and continued scanning the room.
何かあれに対抗できるようなものがあればいいんだけど。
Something, if just had something I could use to fight back. I didn't have time to think carefully about it. I just had to grab something and hope for the best. There were two choices, and I had to pick one on impulse before it was too late. Oh. Broom. A broom from the cleaning supply locker. That might work. Maybe I could fend her off with it. It was a long shot, but it was better than just stranding around and getting caught. It's better to get me killed. Come on.
どうしようどうしよう。
What do I do now? What do I do? Ah! You stalled against Japanese ghosts. Come on. But you know, I used to die. When I looked over, the spirit of the old woman was holding out her hand from the other side of the door frame. She really was trying to catch me. I wasn't just being paranoid. She was going to kill me and turn me into a ghost like her. I was convinced this had to be Yoshie, the teacher from that urban legend. I couldn't waste any more time. I darted out through the back door of this classroom into the safe end of the hall. I was running at the top speed, hoping to escape behind the spirit's back. Unsurprisingly, trying to outrun a ghost proved to be a fruitless endeavor. The spirit saw me and moved at breakneck speed to intercept. Yeah! I impulsively thrust the broom out and stabbed her in the eye with it. Take that, I thought! My moment of bravado was short-lived. The broom immediately shattered into a million pieces. If my attack accomplished anything, it just made her mad. I had the sudden sensation of someone seizing me by the throat, accompanied by an unpleasant crunching sound. God, she really did have me by the throat. I couldn't breathe, for as old and frail as she looked, she was uncommonly strong. Gotcha. She was actually gripping me so tightly that she'd managed to raise me off the ground by my neck. I could see her slender, bony hand in the periphery of my vision and feel it cutting into my trachea. Was that hand really holding me in the air against my will? Kicking me and flailing by just the tissue and bones of my neck? I couldn't struggle anymore. I was like a puppet on a string. Accurate. With a hag down, with a sudden crack, my field of vision shifted 90 degrees and everything turned blood red. Just like me. Which number is this one? That's 4. Okay. Now I need to get number 3 and 5. Let's lame it out now. Prospect of stepping out into the open wasn't desirable. I had to make, yeah. Stay hidden. Shh.
隠れていよう。
I'll keep
きっとやり
hiding.
過ごせるよ。大丈夫。
It'll pass by for sure. It'll be okay. But it only took a moment for that decision to come back and bite me. My body was suddenly weighed down in an instant without knowing what was happening. My fetally positioned form was essentially locked in place. It was like a boulder had fallen on top of me and was resting on my arched back. I twisted and shuffled myself around, trying to shake it off, but the more I struggled, the heavier it became. And what's more, it felt like it was slowly inching its way up toward my head, as if it were planning on dropping down in front of my face. Was this a person?
誰だ
Guess who? It was a female voice, reverberating ominously as if bubbling up from the depths of hell. I squirmed violently, desperate to throw her off of me.
皆さんで追いかけっこしましょうか
Shall we play tag together? My vision went red, or at least it felt that way. Whoever was on my back had dug her razor-sharp fingernails right into my eyes. Oh. I collapsed on the spot. The pain was instantaneous and unbearable. I could no longer hold my position. I could no longer focus on anything but this agony. My eyes!
悪い子にはお仕置きです
Bad children must be punished. Your eyes got haggard. The pain shot through my head in waves. It was indescribable, unthinkable. I couldn't take it any longer. My consciousness faded and I was gone. I would never know exactly what had happened to me, but maybe I was better off that way. Number 3? Yeah, that just leaves number 5 now, yeah? Make a break for it. Hold on. Options. List to confirm. Yeah, with these 2 left. I get the feeling it's probably just gonna be a recycled ending if I time out here. What do I do now? What do I do? When I looked over, the spirit of the old woman was holding out her hand from the other side of the doorframe. She really was trying to catch me. I wasn't just being paranoid. She was going to kill me, turn me into a ghost like her. I was convinced this had to be Yoshie, the teacher from that urban legend. Wait, is there no death from this? Did she just let me retry? Oh no, I'm dead now. I had the sudden sensation of someone seizing me by the throat, accompanied by an unpleasant crunching sound. Oh, we're dying now from the other side of the door. Okay, we're getting choked out again. Okay, it's this one again.
捕まえた
Yeah, it's the broom ending again. Okay.
今度はあなたが鬼よあらあら私と同じね
Yeah. Okay, Team Salt it is then. 4 again. Okay. Kind of progress. Accept your salt. Break for it. Bag of salt.
これって科学の実験の時に使った塩の残りだよね。
This looks like leftover salt from an old chemistry experiment. Okay. I heard that salt was used in purification rituals, so it seemed like a natural choice.
よし、これを持っていこう。
Okay, this is coming with me. I place the salt in my pocket as a sort of protective charm.
怖いけど、行くしかない。
I'm scared, but well, here goes nothing. When I looked over, the spirit of the old woman was holding out her hand from the other side of the doorframe. She really was trying to catch me. It wasn't just being paranoid. She was going to kill me and turn me into a ghost like her. I was convinced this had to be Yoshie, the teacher from that urban legend.
やだ、そんなの。
No, I won't let her get me. Bracing myself, I darted toward the door at the back end of the classroom. There wasn't a moment to lose. If I didn't act fast, I probably wouldn't be able to act at all. I threw the door open and just began running at top speed, hoping to escape behind the spirit's back. Unsurprisingly, trying to outrun a ghost proved to be a fruitless endeavor. The spirit saw me and I moved at breakneck speed to intercept. Stop! Hag jam again. Don't come any closer! I thrust my hand into my pocket and I withdrew the bag of salt, pocket salt, and then threw the entire thing directly at the old woman's face. Pocket salt! Pocket sends ghosts. She recoiled. Now's my chance. I ran down the hall as fast as my legs would carry me, briefly glancing over my shoulder after a moment to confirm that the spirit was still writhing. I just kept on running down that dark hallway with nothing but adrenaline and mortal fear to keep me going. I reached the stairwell at the end of the hall and made a mad dash toward ground level. I was determined to get out of this building alive. Stop! Finally, still moving at top speed, I reached the window door leading outside. Almost there. I'm almost out. Luckily, the malevolent spirit hadn't caught up to me yet. It actually seemed like I might be able to escape. I might actually survive this.
やっとここまで。
Made it. Grabbed the handle, tried pulling it.
やだ。やだ。
No, no.
開かない。
It's not opening.
なんで。
Why?
ど
Why?
こまで来て。
It's so close.
どうして。開いてよ。開いてよ。
Please open, I'm begging you.
どうしよう。このままじゃまたあの化け物に。なんとかしなくちゃ。なんとか。
I have to think of something else. At this rate, the whole woman's going to... No, can't let it happen. What do I do? What can I do? Okay, for the timer, I'm going to save now, I think. Yeah, run somewhere else.
仕方がない。
I have no choice.
別の場所に行くしか。
I have to keep running. I have to find someplace else. Or maybe I could hide somewhere and throw Yoshi off my trail. I had no particular destination in mind. My only thought was anywhere but here. After maybe 30 seconds, I found myself in the second floor hallway. There was an outside corridor connecting the two buildings of the school there, and it was the first alternate escape route that came to mind. Naturally, it was walled off from the outside for safety purposes, but the wall wasn't so big that I couldn't scale it in a pinch. I didn't really want to jump from the second floor of the school, but if I had to. I was confident that I'd at least survive the fall with minimal injury.
念のため隠れよう。
I should consider it a last resort. For now, let's just get out of sight. I climbed the wall faster than I thought possible and dropped down to the narrow ledge on the other side. It's just wide enough to sit down. My back was to the hallway, but my location should have been completely hidden from anyone inside the school. I looked down at the muddy ground below me. I really couldn't see much though. The outside was completely dark. It was so dark that it felt almost like the whole world had been draped in a black veil.
ここで隠れて朝を待とうか。
Just stay until
逃
morning.
げ
I
てて
mean,
もきっといつか捕まるよ。
even if I ran, I'm pretty sure I'd get caught. I opened the pen case in my pocket and pulled out the pencil I received from Tsukasa.
司くん、お願い。
Please protect me. It's the pencil. Let's go. Was I really treating this stubby little pencil as a protective charm? Tsukasa said it would guarantee success on my test, not ward off evil spirits. Still, it was better than nothing. I clutched it tightly in my hands and prayed.
私を守って。
Please protect me. We're praying to the pencil. Let's go. I whispered the words so quietly that I might as well have been mouthing them. But that seemed to be all the opening that damn spirit needed. I sensed a presence on the ledge with me and was so startled that I almost fell from my perch.
やめてよ、おばあちゃん。
Please!
どうして？
Why are you doing this? However, I could only sense her there. I didn't actually see her, and thought for one brief moment that maybe I was letting my imagination run wild. But then I felt a horrible sensation of something coiling itself around my arm. You mustn't go outside. Hi, Yoshie. Before I knew it, a tall, shadowy figure had half emerged from the wall behind me, and she had me in her grasp. There wasn't much more to her than an indistinct, flickering silhouette, but I could clearly see she had a broken neck. Was this a different apparition? Her scraggly, root-like fingers were squeezing my arm with tremendous force, pushing aside muscle and tissue, and pressing right on the bone. What are you? Where are you going, my dear? I'll just be a little longer, so won't you please wait for me? It hurts! It really hurts! I was shaking hysterically and tears were streaming down my face. I was absolutely convinced that I was going to die here. Let go of me! I could offer no resistance. She was too strong. All I could do was plead with her. Stop, please! It's really hurting me. I felt like my arm would snap in two at any moment.
ずーっと一緒にいましょうね。
Let's be together forever. She wasn't just grabbing, but twisting as well. The pain was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. I couldn't think about anything else. Stopping it had become my first and only priority. I struggled violently against the spirit's grip, ultimately breaking free by throwing my body off the wall toward the unseen earth below. In the face of death, everything really does seem to slow down. I'd read somewhere that this is because the brain is sending out all kinds of distress signals or something. Slow motion or not, though, I was fully aware of my surroundings. I was cascading through the air just outside my school building. Prey upon the pencil! Let's go! Prey upon the pencil. Do it, pencil. If this is a dream, please let me wake up from it right now. Those are the words echoing through my head as I clutched Cass's pencil tight against my bosom like a prayer talisman. This is the one you just remember is just there. You remember that choice is there. Moments later, I crashed into the ground, and a horrible squelching sound echoed in my ears. My neck was... Cass's pencil had pierced deep into my throat. Thanks, pencil. Good job, pencil. Blood was spurting everywhere. I was practically drowning in it. I had landed right on it, and it wasn't long before I gasped my final gasp. Pencil ending. I remember that one. I have a mental image of that fall going on. It's just ridiculous. Oh jeez, wrong end 5. There you go. 5 out of 5.
どうしよう。このままじゃまたあの化け物に。なんとかしなくちゃ。なんとか。
Break glass. In case of emergency. Oh hey. Putting my thoughts in order, I came to the sudden realization that I was right near the umbrella racks. Unless the spirit had taken it or something, my umbrella should still have been right where I left it. Here it is. I practically tackled the rack, grabbing my umbrella in one swift motion. Not from the handle, mind you, but from the top. Then, taking aim at the glass part of the door, the glass part of the door, I swung as hard as I could, smacking it dead center with the sturdy plastic handle. Oh no, the glass wasn't going to break so easily, of course, but it did crack, giving me the impetus I needed to go in for a second hit. Break, damn you, break! Again and again, I struck the glass. I had the umbrella gripped so tightly that the metal skeleton of the canopy was leaving indentations in my skin. I was sure there had to be a better way to do this, but I didn't have the luxury of time to figure out what it might have been. Stop! You must not leave! She's coming this way! I began smacking the glass even harder, even faster. My hands were killing me. But this was my only hope of survival. Finally, after far too much effort, I did it! The glass shattered onto the floor, making one hell of a sound. Tepid air whooshed in from outside. It was still pouring rain, but I was free now, free to escape this hellhole. Okay. The pane I'd broken was on the lower half of the door, and I didn't care if I cut myself. I got down on my hands and knees, and I crawled like mad. I'm almost outside. I can actually escape. I'm safe. I felt triumphant. For a brief moment, the fear was gone, and I was basking in my victory over this malevolent entity. But it didn't last long. Before I was even halfway through the door, I felt something coiling itself around my arm. With a start, I looked back.
外はいけませんよ。
You mustn't go outside. A tall, shadowy figure had appeared behind me in the entranceway, and she had me in her grasp. There wasn't much more to her than an indistinct, flickering silhouette, but I could clearly see she had a broken neck. Was this a different apparition? Her scraggly root-like fingers were squeezing my arm with tremendous force, pushing aside muscle and tissue and pressing right on the bone. Yeah.
どこに行くの？
Where are you going, my dear?
もう少しだから待ってね。
I'll just be a little longer, so won't you please wait for me? I was shaking hysterically, and tears were streaming down my face. I was absolutely convinced that I was going to die here. Let go of me.
さっちゃん。
Sachi. I could offer no resistance. She was too strong. All I could do was plead with her. Felt like my arm would snap in two at any moment.
ずーっと一緒にいましょうね。
Be together forever. She wasn't just grabbing, but twisting as well. The pain was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. I couldn't think about anything else. My mind was absorbed by the unconscionable agony.
シシド
I thought my arm was about to snap off, and then all of a sudden, I was whisked away. Whisked away by Tsukasa.
大丈夫か？
You okay?
どうして
Why, Tsukasa?
今しのごの言ってる場合じゃない。
Goes
逃
on
げ
to
るぞ。
explain. You have to run. What? Tsukasa was still holding onto me tightly after saving me from the brink of death. He led me back into the school at an incredible speed.
ちくしょう。なんだよさっきのは。俺は夢でも見てるのか。
What the hell was that thing? Please tell me I'm just dreaming. He practically spit these words as he continued running.
どうしてここに司くんが
Why is Tsukasa here? I tried to match his gait, and once we were a bit more in sync, I looked up at his face. After we'd reached the end of the hall, he suddenly veered into the last classroom before the stairwell, pulling me in with him.
シシド、お前怪我はないか？
You okay?
大丈夫
I'm
私
fine.
は
I
もう一人で歩けるから
can walk by myself, really.
ああ、悪い。
Sorry, my bad. I moved away from Tsukasa and almost immediately spilled onto the ground like a house of cards.
おい、大丈夫じゃないじゃん。
Sure don't seem okay to me.
そうだけどでも
Maybe not, but
すぐに
I just need a few.
無理すんなよ。
Don't push yourself. Tsukasa grabbed my arm to help me up. Unfortunately, it was the arm Yoshi had been twisting. Idiot.
悪い。
Sorry.
やっぱり腕怪我してるのか？
Is it your arm that's hurting you then?
よくわかんない
I don't know
で
how
もす
bad
っ
it is.
ごく痛いよ
But it
焼け
really
るみたい
stings. Like it's on fire. I dragged my other hand over the sore spot where I assumed there was probably one hell of a bruise. I started rubbing gently, but it didn't help at all.
そうか。
That's
じ
not
ゃあ保健室ですぐに手当てした方がいいな。
good. Okay, to the nurse's office right away then, and take care of it. No, not now. That was the nurse. That was the nurse, Tsukasa. Stop.
でもそしたらまた
Then we'll be
あいつが来るって。
exposing ourselves to that ghost again, right?
うん
Yeah. Just thinking about going back out there and facing Yoshie made me shudder. I couldn't believe he was even entertaining the idea.
心配すんな。
Don't worry.
もし仮にあいつが来ても、俺が絶対お前を守ってやるから。
Even if she does come to
Nah.
get us, I'll keep you safe no matter what, okay?
司くん
Tsukasa's gentle reassurance actually made me forget the pain in my arm for a moment. I had to stop myself from blushing, or try to at any rate.
怪我は一刻も早く手当てした方がいいって。まあどうせ先生なんかいないだろうけど、
We need
応
to,
急手当てくらいなら俺にだってできる。
we need to treat your injuries as quickly as possible, or they could get worse. The nurse may not be in, but I can at least supply first aid. Apply. Apply, not supply. Okay.
よし、
Alright.
行くぞ。
let's go. Tsukasa offered me his hand, and I graciously took it, squeezing it tightly as he led me back out into the hallway.
司くんの手あったかい。
And so warm. Despite the fact that nothing had really changed, I was still in just as much danger as I had been. The paralyzing fear I'd been feeling was gone. If it were just me, I would have never been able to do this. I would have frozen up, but with Tsukasa leading the way, it felt like I could do anything.
シシド、少し走るけど大丈夫か？
Are you okay to run? Sure. With my blessing, Tsukasa upped his pace significantly.
もうあいつが出てきませんように。
Don't let us show up, please. I prayed silently for smooth sailing as I followed Tsukasa's lead.
このまま司くんと一緒にいられれば
As long as he's
安
with
心。
me, I think I'll be okay. I gently squeezed his hand again, as if to reassure myself that he was still with me. I was starting to think maybe Yoshie was gone, maybe we thwarted her, but of course, just as I was thinking that, she made her presence known again. Get that Yoshie ASMR, she's back.
なんだってんだ。
The hell was that?
出てこい！
Show yourself! An unearthly voice reverberated through the dark corridor. I immediately drew myself into Tsukasa's bag.
もっと連れてこい。
Bring me more. Oh, that's a good image. Over Tsukasa's shoulder, I saw the same shadow-like spirit from before. It must have been waiting here to ambush us.
大丈夫？落ち着け。
It's alright, stay calm. Just don't look at it. The ghost was moaning and wavering before us. We'd never be able to get past it.
私のために何でもしてくれる。
You'll do anything for me.
おい、シシド。
Yeah?
俺があいつを引きつけるから、その隙に走って逃げろ。
I'm gonna draw things' attention. While it's distracted, I want you to run. I was just about to leave the fucking school. And you just dragged me all the way back in. Like, what? Bro,
やだよ一緒に逃げて
we could have already done that by now. No, wait, we'll run together.
俺には秘密兵器があるのさ。
I've got a secret weapon. You what?
俺のばあさんからもらった形見のお守り。さっきあいつにこれを向けたら少し弱りやがった。
It's a keepsake charm my grandmother gave me. When I pointed it at that thing earlier, it definitely had an effect. Wait a minute.
形見の
Oh, yeah.
お守り
A charm?
あ
Yeah.
でも司くんやっぱり危険
Cassie, you'll still be putting yourself right in harm's way.
俺？まあ、
I'll be fine.
なんとかなるだろう。
It'll all work out somehow or another.
そんな
That's not.
待ちなさい。
Stay where you are. We really didn't have time to be arguing. It was closing in fast. And as it did, I noticed the spirit's figure had become more defined. She was a tall young woman with her head turned sideways at a 90-degree angle. The tale of Yoshie suggests she fell down a flight of stairs, so a broken neck would certainly fit.
早く走れ！
Go run! He gave my back a shove to get me started, and with no time to object, I unconsciously obliged. Tsukasa ran too, darting ahead of me, and for a few short moments.
おい、化け物！こっちだ！
Ghost lady, over here!
待ちなさい。
Stop!
司くん
Tsukasa ran as close as he possibly could to get Yoshie's attention, then turned tail and began sprinting off in the opposite direction.
こっちだぞ！化け物！
Come get me, you monster! Amazingly, it worked. The spirit began chasing Tsukasa, leaving me completely unobstructed.
どうしよう私このまま一人逃げてもいいの
This doesn't feel right. Should I really escape without him? I was torn. On the one hand, I knew this was my best chance, but I couldn't help worrying about what would happen to Tsukasa if his charm failed. I stopped for a moment and glanced over my shoulder. He was still running, and the shadowy figure was still in hot pursuit. She's way too close. You need to take out your charm.
いいから行けって。
Fine.
お前が逃げ切ったのを確認したら俺も逃げるからさ。
Tell you to keep going. Once you're out of harm's way, I'll be right behind you. I promise. I still can't believe I fell for it, but this was right about when I realized the truth. Tsukasa had no protective charm. He just made it up so I wouldn't object too strongly to him serving as decoy while I got away. I can't let him go through with this. I stopped in my tracks and shouted out at the top of my lungs. Hold it right there! I wasn't sure exactly what I was getting myself into, but I had to do something. And calling the spirit's name definitely seemed to have an effect. That's right, I know your name.
おいシスター。
What are you doing? All at once, the black figure was facing me, though I never saw her turn around. She was flying toward me now, ignoring Tsukasa. I'm not scared. I repeated this like a mantra and stuck one hand into my pocket, grasping tightly onto the one and only item I'd stashed there.
お前は私を知っているのか。
So you know who I am then? Unlike him, I have a real protective charm. Tsukasa's care, his effort, his beliefs, they were all packed into this pencil. And when you get right down to it, that's what a charm is, right? I squeezed the nubby little thing in my pocket, mentally preparing myself for the confrontation ahead. The confrontation I impulsively initiated. My pencil couldn't see a chance. Redeem yourself.
シスター逃げろ。
You have to run! I won't! Absolutely will not! God, please. Protect me! I closed my eyes, lifted my hand from my pocket, and brandished Tsukasa's pencil intently. The gauntlet had been thrown. I was putting a lot of faith into this, and I really, really hoped I hadn't made a mistake in doing so. My name is Yui Shishido, and my goal is to become a teacher here at the school. Come on, Pencil-kun, you can do it. I opened my eyes to find that the shadowy spirit, Yoshie, had stopped dead in her tracks. Did it work? Was Tsukasa's pencil keeping this vengeful soul at bay?
私の代わりはいらない。
I don't need a
死
replacement.
ね。
Just die. Suddenly, I was whisked off my feet and slammed against the ceiling.
シシドー。
I could see him down below. He was staring up at me and desperately leaping. He was trying to catch me, I suppose, even though he knew he'd never reach. I called out to him over and over again in my mind. If he could get away, if he could survive this ordeal, then it would all have been worth it. Yoshi was drawing near, and I was helplessly pinned to the ceiling. I had no chance at all. There was no doubt in my mind that my life was over. I clung to the relief I felt at Tsukasa's safety. It was the only thing keeping me from losing my head entirely. Then, all at once, the situation took a complete 180. It was like a miracle.
篠崎よしえ、そこまでにせい。
Stop right there! Before I had any idea what was happening, I found myself bathed in a gentle light. The woman from this morning? Well, Yoshi is the one getting handwritten now.
守ってやれんですまんな。せめてこれ以上 邪術が拡大せぬこと。
I'm sorry I wasn't able to protect you, but now, at least, the evil will spread no farther. It was the old woman who had collapsed in front of my house. She was standing down below me, enveloped in a warm glow. Row, yeah. A black shadow lunged toward her, then there was a horrific noise, and the old woman was gone.
獅子だ。
And just like that, I fell to the ground. Whatever Yoshia had done to me, the old woman must have nullified it. That must have been why she came to me this morning, and why she had come again now. I felt like I was going to faint. Tsukasa ran to my side and gently scooped me off the ground into his arms. Yoshia's spirit was gone. She'd vanished along with the light. Around us now, the only sound was the pitter-patter of raindrops on the school roof.
おい、獅子だ。獅子だ。
司くん。
I'd suffered quite a bump on the head from my fall and was decidedly disoriented. But I still had enough sense to put my arms around Tsukasa's neck.
バカ。逃げろって言ったのに。
I'm gonna tell you to run away.
ごめん。
Sorry.
でも。
It's just... I wanted to protect you. I couldn't bear the thought of losing you, is what I wanted to say. But instead, I just passed out in his arms. Dead. I felt as though I was waking from a long, horrible dream.
おい、大丈夫か？
You okay?
おい、獅子だ？
ここどこ？
Where are we?
本当に大丈夫か？
How hard a fall
見
was
れば
that?
わかるだろ。
Wouldn't
学校の
nurse
保
office?
健室だって。
Can't you tell?
保健室。
Nurse's office? It occurred to me to look at my surroundings. Probably something I should have done before asking about them. But in my defense, I was out cold. Beige walls, pink curtains, white beds with solid blue covers. This was indeed the school infirmary. No doubt about it.
どうして？
Why are you...
どうしてもこうしても、お前があんなところで倒れてたから、ここに連れてきてやったんじゃん。
The better question is why you're here. I found you passed out on the ground out there, so I carried you in.
あんなとこ
Out where exactly?
おいおい、まだ具合悪いんじゃないのか？
Did you get a
肛門だ
or
よ、
something?
肛門。
It was right by the school gate.
ろ？校門に？
The school
私
gate?
そこに倒れてったの？
That's why you found me?
そうだけど。
Ring any bells?
私、確かに学校の中でヨシエさんから逃げて。
I was trapped
そう
inside
だ
the school.
腕を怪我して。
I'm running from Yoshia, wasn't I? Oh, that's right, my arm is probably broken.
腕
Wait,
なんともない。
my arm's okay?
はあ？腕？
Your arm?
夢だったの？
Was it a dream? No.
そんなはずない。だって本当に痛くて死んじゃいそうだったの
I
に。
mean, it really hurt, and I really thought I was going to die.
ああ、まあなんか様子が変だけど、とにかく無事でほっとしたよ。
Well, you're still a little out of sorts, but I'm glad you're safe at any rate.
こういうのって虫の知らせって言うんだな。
Guess you could say I had a gut feeling, maybe?
なんとなく気になってお前ん家に行ったら、お前のお母さんに学校に行ったって聞いてな。
I just got
そしたら
concerned
あんなところに倒れてるんだもんな。
and stopped by your house, and your mom told me you'd gone back to school. So I came by to find you, and, well, I found you.
司くん、
うんうん。
Yes.
まあ
yes.
とりあえず詳しい話は後で聞くからさ。
Plenty of time for
ちょっと待って
thanks
な。
and such later on. Right now, there's something I want to do, so hang on a sec.
あ、
Okay.
司くん、行
Where
っ
you
ちゃっ
going?
た。
Tsukasa.
ヨシエさんのこと聞こうと思ったのに。
I wanted to ask you about Yoshi.
あら、シシドさん、目が覚めたのね。
Glad to see you awake.
先
Man,
驚いたわよ。三国くんが血相変えて私を呼びに来るんだもの。 私が当直でよかったわね。
You gave us both quite a scare. Mikuni was pale as a ghost when he came to get me. Lucky for you, I was working late tonight.
ご迷惑をおかけしてすみません。
So sorry to have troubled you.
それはいいのよ。
It's fine, of
で
course.
もあなたずいぶんうなされていたから悪い夢でも見てたんじゃない？
But you know, you were really moaning in your sleep. Were you having nightmares?
悪い夢。
Nightmares?
そうよ。三国くんもすごく心配してたわよ。
Seemed like you were. Mikuni was worried sick about you.
そうだ。やっぱりきっと悪い夢なんだ。
So it really was just a
昼
nightmare
間に
then?
怖い話とか聞いちゃったし。
Maybe that scary story this afternoon was just too much for me.
ともかくもう大丈夫？
You feeling a little better now at least?
はい。
そう、よかったわ。
That's good. The nurse smiled cheerfully and disappeared behind the partitioning curtain. Letting out a sigh, I laid myself down on the bed once more. It was dead silent. The rain must have let up. The only sound I heard was an occasional cough from the nurse, who was otherwise going about her business quietly.
そういえばペンケース。
Wait, what about the pen case? I thrust my hands into my pockets, not really expecting to find it, but
ちゃんとある。
there it is. The pen case, complete with Casa's pencil talisman inside, was present and accounted for, which meant that
私やっぱり教室には行ったんだ。
I made it to my classroom.
やっぱり夢じゃない。
Maybe it wasn't a dream after all.
おーい。
あ、司くんおかえり。
Welcome back. I was still trying to remember exact details about what happened when I unexpectedly felt something cold pressed against my cheek.
これって。
What are you?
お前うなされてただろ。
You're
汗も
sleeping
かいてたし
restlessly, you know?
喉乾いたんじゃないかなと思ってさ。
Sweating an awful lot, so I figured
コーヒー牛乳。
you might be thirsty. Here, it's cafe au lait.
ありがとう。
Thank you. Casa went out of his way to buy this just for me. It was a lovely gesture. How could I possibly refuse?
お前さ、
Hey,
明日というか
Isn't tomorrow-
もう今日か。
well, I guess it's today now.
推薦の試験だろ。
But either way,
何時からだ？
don't you have an entrance exam to take? What time does it start?
9時。
9.
あと4時間か。
So in 4 hours then.
もう無理だよ今日は。
I don't even want to think about that right now, not after the day I just had. I'd been put through hell on earth. Taking a test was the furthest thing from my mind. I was in tears and I had no idea why. Maybe it was because I was so relieved, so glad to be alive. Okay.
よし。
Hey,
なあ、シシド。起きれるか？
can you stand?
ちょうどいいから、お前にいいもの見せてやるよ。
Time is just right, so I'm gonna show you something good.
いいもの。
Something good?
おう、そうだな。むしろ、お前には見てほしいんだ。
Something I really want you to see if you're up to it. Sure,
うん。
I guess. My nose was still running, but my heart felt a lot lighter. I no longer felt threatened by this skull. I was comfortable and safe. The tours left the nurse's office with Casa in the lead, and even though I was holding a cold coffee in my hand, I still felt warm all over. Neither of us said a thing as he led me through the empty halls. It occurred to me that when we last saw one another, I was mad at him.
ほら、シシド。着いたぞ。
We're here.
ここって渡り廊下？
Isn't this just the walkway between the buildings?
まあまあ、もうすぐだからちょっと待てよ。
You'll see it in a minute.
もうすぐ？
See what? I had no idea what I was looking for. I just kept staring at him, but his eyes were fixed on the window leading out into the walkway. As I gazed upon him in profile, I felt my heart skip a beat.
昨日のこと謝らなくちゃいけない。
I have to apologize for what happened yesterday. but I just wasn't sure what to say. I let my feelings get the better of me and reprimanded him for behavior that was, at least at the time, entirely reasonable. There was more to it than that, though. There was one particular reason, more than any other, that made it hard for me to think of the words to say here. He and I had run from Yoshie together. We escaped her wrath against insurmountable odds. And what if that wasn't all just a dream?
お、出てきたぞ。
Bingo, here we go. I followed Tsukasa's pointing finger, and...
朝日
That's beautiful!
すごいすごい
Absolutely stunning sunrise.
俺、ここでよく夕日を眺めてるんだけどさ。朝日もいいもんだな。
It's actually the sunset I enjoy watching most from here, but the sunrise is pretty great too.
綺麗だよ
Gorgeous.
街がオレンジに染まっていく
Whole town is painted orange.
お、元気出てきたな。
Looks like you're back in good spirits again.
ここって司くんの言ってた例の場所だよね
This is the place that you were talking about, isn't it?
おう、うん。
Yeah, it is.
今まで絶対に教えてくれなかったのにどうして今日はその教えてくれるの
You've been keeping a spot for me all this time, so why now? Why are you showing it to me today?
別に
No reason?
なんとなく。
Really?
なんとなくって
No reason, huh? I could think of a reason, but I didn't say anything. It just seemed kind of far-fetched to me. And if I were misinterpreting him, I'd be very embarrassed. He couldn't possibly, could he? My face felt kind of warm. I placed a sweaty cafe au lait can on my cheek and sighed softly.
どうした？顔赤いぞ。
Feeling okay? Your face is really red.
そう
It is?
まだ具合悪いんじゃないのか？
You aren't still feeling faint, are you?
そんなことないよ
Nothing like that. It's
そ
just,
の
yeah,
ほら
it's the sun.
朝日が赤いせ
It's the way the light's playing off of my skin, that's all.
おう、なるほどな。
Okay. Why is it gonna be so dense sometimes?
試験頑張れよ。
Good luck in the exam, by the way.
今からすぐ戻って準備すれや。
Head back
間に合
now.
うだろ。
Get ready. You should still be able to make it.
ありがとう
Thank you.
司くんのそれ好き
That's what I like about you, Tsukasa.
え？
Where?
それと
Also,
あとごめんね
I'm sorry.
なんで謝るん
For
だよ。
what?
あいや
It's
その
just that yesterday
昨日
things
ほらなんかちょっと気まずくなっちゃったし
might have seemed a little awkward
七不
between
思
us
議の
after
話し
talking
て
about that school legend, remember?
あ
Oh yeah.
あ、そんなこともあったっけ？
I think I remember something like that.
そんなこともって
What do you mean?
私は
Something like
結構
that.
気にしてたんだけどな
I was really bothered by it, you know.
女子はほんと細かいこと気にするよな。
You girls obsess
俺
over
は全
littlest
然
things
何とも
sometimes.
思ってなかったのに。
Me, I didn't think anything of it.
そっか
Really now? Really now? I let out another sigh and turned back toward the morning sun, stretching my arms skyward as a sudden wave of exhaustion overcame me. The day got brighter bit by bit, and I just stood there, silently trying to piece together all the jumbled thoughts rattling around in my head. I was running away from Yoshie, and Tsukasa was with me. Then I was saved by that old woman.
やっぱり夢だよね
It really was just a dream.
あんなの
Huh? As the bright rays of the sun washed over me, I felt new life and new hope welling up from within, and I finally came to terms with those horrid events. Most likely, I got the pen case without incident, but then on my way back, something hit my head and it knocked me out? That would be just my luck.
あ、ちょっとシシド、
Hey,
動くなよ。
Shishido, don't move.
そのまま、そのまま。
Stay right there, just like that. I didn't know what he was planning to do, but he was staring right at me. I felt kind of like he was staring into my soul. And then... Slowly, Tsukasa drew his face toward mine.
これって
Is he?
シシド、
嘘
No way.
何
Is he really going to... shut my eyes. I was ready for this. Or maybe I just didn't want to look. But the next sensation I felt wasn't quite the one I was expecting.
シシド、これ大丈夫か？
What happened here? He'd grabbed my arm for some reason and was staring down at it intently.
何よ紛らわしいな。
What the hell? What is he doing?
やだ、何これ。
What is that? Seriously, I had no idea that was there. Turns out he was just concerned by the strange bruise I had apparently received, which had momentarily become visible when I raised my arms. It was right around my elbow, right where Yoshi had grabbed me in my dream.
痛そうだな。
Looks like it hurts.
全然痛くないけど。
It doesn't hurt at all, actually, but
けど
what?
なんでもないよ。
Never mind, it's nothing. Giving a wry smile, I gently pulled my arm from his grip.
ねえ、司くん。
ん
Yeah?
帰る前に一つ
Before
お
we go
願
home,
いがあるんだけど。
I have a favor to ask you.
なんだよ。
What is it?
手つないでもいい？
Would you mind if we held hands?
手
Held hands?
手
Illegal. Just for a little.
ダメかな。
Or is that asking too much?
なんでという彼の言
This
葉
image
に
has
は
been holding hands this whole
なん
time,
と
sort
な
of
く
almost.
と答えた。
When he asked why I wanted to do this, I fed him his own line. I just told him no reason.
そっと指先を掴んだだけの軽いものだったけど、初めて私はお互いの心がつながっているのを感じた気がして、
We only joined
と
fingertips.
ても嬉しかったのを
For
覚
the
えて
first
いる。
time, it really felt like I was connected to another person's heart. I remember feeling so happy. Oh no. Illegal.
ふーん。
Ah, we're back.
ゆい先生、ゆい先生
Oh no, Satoshi. Self-insert kun.
つかさくん。
ゆい先生ってば
I knew I'd heard that voice before, but who was it? Was I just dreaming again? I still felt like I was holding Tsukasa's hand, though.
ゆい先生、手
Your hand!
やっと起きた。
Good, you're awake.
あらえ持田くん？
そうだよ、持田聡だよ。
That's right, it's Satoshi Mochida.
と
I was still dazed. I had no idea what was going on. All I knew was that one of my students, Satoshi Mochida, was here, and he looked concerned.
ゆい先生、いい加減手を。
Your hand is...
あら
What? Oh my. I finally realized what he was talking about. I was holding Machida's hand in my own and squeezing it awfully tightly.
やだごめんなさい私したら
Excuse me, please, I'm so sorry. Oh, there's the bruise. There it is.
いいけどさ、ゆい先生、
It's no
結
problem.
構
I have
握
to
力
say,
強いんだな。
you have a really strong grip, Ms. Yue. Yeah, that's the bit where her arm is like dangling off itself after the spirit crushes it.
あら、そうこれでも
well.
昔はか弱く儚い美少女として巷に名を馳せたものだけど
So I know in the past I was renowned far and wide for being a weak and dainty young beauty, you know? That place must reclaim the wound in the exact spot.
それどこから突っ込んでいいの？
Do I respond to that?
手厳しいわね
Say something nice. Mochida was a good student. He and I got along well, and we were already falling back into our usual pattern of good-natured ribbing. Except...
ちょっと待って
Wait a minute.
どうして持田くんがうちにいるの
Why are you here, Mochida?
それさっき話したじゃん。
Well, that's... I told you earlier, didn't I?
は
I guess I
あ、その
shouldn't...
調子じゃ何も覚えてないんでしょ。
I shouldn't be surprised you don't remember anything.
何も
Trombone's back. Trombone-kun is back. Am I supposed to remember exactly? Ba-ba-ba-ba.
さっき俺の作ったおかゆ食って薬飲んでまた寝たじゃないか。
You ate some porridge I
その
made.
時話したのに。
Took some medicine before passing out again. I told you everything then. You did?
本当に綺麗さっぱり覚えてない？
Have you seriously forgotten all of that?
全然
Completely. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
笑えないよ。もう
Don't laugh, jeez. Moshida sighed and pointed at Abel.
あれ、山崎先生からの届け物。
Fast notes from Mr. Yamazaki.
もしかしてわざわざそれを届けに来てくれたの？
Did you come all this way just to deliver those?
そうだよ。
Yeah.
そしたらゆい先生があんまりにひどい状態だったから飯作って。
And when I did, you were in a pretty bad way, so I made you some porridge.
あ、キッチン借りていいって言ったのはモネだから。
Oh, but don't worry, I had permission. Monet said I could borrow your kitchen. Bye bye, Trombone-kun.
そっか
Monet
モ
did.
ネちゃんがね
Did he? I stroked Monet's neck, and he lied down contentedly on my futon. Such a pretty kitty. I was getting kind of wrapped up in petting him, as I often did. I almost forgot Machida was here. Until he let out a huge sigh.
ゆい先生、
Also,
玄関の鍵は閉めないと不用心だよ。
Monsieur, leaving your front door unlocked is really dangerous.
あら開いてた？
Was it open?
うん。
Yeah.
今回ばかりは開いてて助かったけど、でも今後はちゃんと閉めないとダメだからな。
You're lucky I was the one to discover it. You really need to be more careful.
気をつけるわ
Duly noted. Thanks.
なんで笑うの？
Did I say something funny?
持田くん私のお母さんみたいだから
No, you just sound like my mother.
うわ、複雑。
Yikes. I don't think I like the implications there. I didn't mean to laugh. I must have seemed kind of deranged, but I could always blame it on the fever. Machida looked at me and let out another sigh. My poor sense of humor must have been getting to him. Well,
でもまあ、だいぶ元気になってきたみたいでよかったよ。
you sure seem a lot better now than you were when I got here, so that's something.
そうみたい
I feel better, too.
結構寝てたもんな、
You
ゆい
slept like
先
a
生。
rock, Ms. Yui.
そうね
That's right.
確か今朝風邪でめまいがして学校にお休みの電話をしてモネちゃんのご飯を用意して
I woke up this morning feeling dizzy and
そ
chilled.
こから先の記憶がないのよね
I called in sick, put out food for money, and I don't remember a thing after that.
あれ、コンビニ行ったんじゃないの？
You don't remember going to the convenience store?
コンビニ
Convenience store?
うん。
Yeah.
冷却シートと弁当があって、
Found Colpax's next. Let's see.
ほらこれ、
Here, look.
レシートの時間。今朝になってるけど、
Time on the receipt. It was this morning.
本当だ
Oh, you're right.
もしかしてゆい先生、コンビニ行ったこと覚えてないの？
How can you possibly not remember going to the store?
うわーもう、
Amazing.
しっかりしてくれよ。
It's just seriously, you
ま
need
さ
to
か
pull yourself
パジャマ
together.
で出かけたりしてないよな。
You didn't go out in your pajamas or anything, did you?
そんなことは
Well,
ないと思うけど
I don't think I did.
どうかな。
I won't be surprised.
笑ってごまかさない。
Don't try and hide behind that laugh.
ごめんごめ
Sorry, sorry.
ん持田くん私のことずっと看病してくれてたの
You taking care of me this whole time, Machida?
うん。
そう
Wow.
遅くまでごめんなさいね
I'm really sorry you had to stay this late. It was already past 10 o'clock in the evening. I couldn't believe Machida had been with me this whole time. I felt both guilty and grateful, and I definitely gained a new respect for him.
おかゆ、まだちょっと残ってるから、腹減ったら食べてよ。
There's still a little porridge left if you get hungry.
え
Thanks.
あとそれから、これ。
I bought these too.
スーパーの袋
You went to the supermarket?
冷蔵庫を見たら、 何もなかったからさ、
There wasn't
つい
anything
で
in the
に買っ
fridge
ておいたよ。
when I checked, so I figured I might as well.
え
The bag was quite heavy. Inside it was a bottle of orange juice, some bananas, canned peaches, apples, and other assorted fruits.
これ
That's
風邪の時ってビ
vitamin.
タミンを取るといいんだろ
As sick as you
う。そ
were,
れ食べて早く良くなってよ。
your body needs all the help it can get to fight back. Think of it like medicine.
持田くん
That much fruit couldn't have come cheap, especially for a high schooler. Considered offering to pay him back, but decided against it. I knew he wouldn't take my money, and besides, I really appreciated the fact that he'd gone to all this trouble for me. I'd return the favor another time. If it ever seemed like he was going to be staying late after school, maybe I'd buy him dinner. Or I could help him with preparations for the school festival.
じゃあ俺帰るよ。
It's getting late, I should go.
あ、大丈
Will
夫
you
道
okay?
わかるかしら
Do you know you
な
were
んなら
back?
途中まで見送りに行くわよ
If you'd like, I can take you at least part of the way.
大丈夫だよ。
It's fine.
ゆい先生はおとなしく寝てて。
Just go back to sleep, Miss Yui.
まだ本調子じゃないんだし。第一、夜道を女の人一人で歩くなんて危険だよ。
You're not better just yet, and besides, it isn't safe for a woman to walk alone at night.
持田くんは優しい
Yeah,
ね
such a
そういう
sweet.
とこキュンとしちゃう
Seeing how much you care just makes my heart skip a beat.
あれ
Does it
そうい
now?
うこと俺に言っていいの
I'm not sure you should be saying something like that to me, Miss Yui.
なんで
Why not? Moshida and I joked like this a lot. Usually, it made him blush and get adorably embarrassed. But not today. Today, he just grinned sheepishly, with a mischievous glint in his eyes. I didn't quite get it. What was his angle?
司くんって誰？先生の恋人？
Miss Yui, is he your boyfriend?
どうしてそれ
How do you...
ゆい先生寝てる時ずっとその人のこと呼んでたよ。
He kept calling his name in
う
his
なされ
sleep.
ながら何度も司くん司くんっ
You
て。
cried. Lost in some sort of wonderful dream.
誰なんだよ。
So who is he? That crafty Machida had turned the tables on me. And how embarrassing to know that I'd been calling Tsukasa's name.
それは
Well, I hesitated to answer for a moment. But then I figured, what the hell, why not?
司くんはね
Was
私の初恋の人
my first love.
ふーん。
Oh?
その様子じゃゆい先生はよっぽどその人のことが好きだったんだね。
Judging by your actions, Ellie, you must have seriously been head over heels for him.
え
What? Why?
だって
Well,
先生さっきすごかったよ。
when I got here, you
俺
thought
の
I
こ
was
と司っ
Tsukasa.
て人と間違えてたでしょ。
It was unbelievable.
やだ
Wait, what are you saying?
ゆい先生顔赤いよ。
Your face is beat red.
これは熱のせいよきっ
It's my
と
fever. I swear.
ふーん。まあいいや。
Well, that's fine. I'll
そう
let
い
you
うこと
believe
にし
whatever
て
you
あげ
want
る。
to believe.
もうあんまり大人をからかわないで
Whatever happened to respecting your elders? You shouldn't mess with adults.
だってこんなゆい先生
But
め
you're
っ
in
た
rare
に見
form
れないか
today.
らさ。
We never get to see you like this. I wasn't sure he was ever going to give me the full story of all the embarrassing things I'd done in my fevered days. And maybe it was better he didn't. Either way, I was in his debt, so he could tease me all he wanted. Just this once.
やばい。
Crap.
そろそろ帰らないと
I have to get going.
ゆかがカンカンだ。
Yuka's gonna be really angry with me. Let her deal with it.
今日はありがとね
Thanks
も
for
う暗い
everything.
から気をつけて帰るのよ
It's dark out, so please be careful on your way home.
はーい。
No worries.
それじゃあ先生食事をきちんととって頑張って早く治してくれよ。
You be sure to eat right and get better ASAP. You hear me? Of course.
頑張る
Kick this in no time.
ファイト
Fight the good fight. These translations are like dragging on the words.
ありがとう
Thanks. extra words, all of
い
them.
い子だな、持田くんは。
Mochida.
いかんいかん。あの子は生徒だぞ。
Yeah, you better be careful. He's your student after all. Don't do crimes.
おいで、モネちゃん。
Not those crimes.
一緒に寝よっか。
Come here, Money. You sleep with mommy tonight.
会いたいな、
I miss you.
司くん。
Encounter Kaiko. Chronicle past events. There you go. Clear. Purgatory is playable. Mm-hmm. Okay. I won't be reading this out. You're gonna read on off the screen with the subtitles because, yeah, as before. Oh, no, this also, wait, once I check my, things. Check marks everywhere. Yeah? And then we carry on here. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, actually now just Hiroshima.
お疲れ様です。どうも持田聡役下野紘です。はい、ということでですね、今回、コープスパーティー、ブラッドカバーリピーティッドフィアの続編というかですね、第2章コープスパーティーブックオブシャドウズ、はい、こちらの方ですね、プレイしていただきまして本当にありがとうございます。ということで、今回ですね、僕はですね、新たに収録した部分というのの、収録が終わったところなんですけれども、今回いろいろと実際にゲーム本編が始まる前の、お話ですね、ゆい先生とちょっといろいろなんていうんですか、そういうなんかね、淡い感じのなんかそういうのがちょっとやってて、少し僕もねなんか恥ずかしくなっちゃったりとか、そういう風になった感じのそういうね、全然そういう風なこともないんですけれどもね、今回、ゆい先生が風邪ひいて、そのゆい先生を、看病することになった、さとしくんということで、本編は本当にですね、怖いという風な、本当に怖い印象があったりとかしますけれどもね、結構僕もファンレターでいろいろと本当に怖くてですね、まずオープニングを見た段階でもう電源を消しましたっていう人もいたぐらい本当に、怖いものになっていますけれども、このゆい先生との、このストーリーは、全く全然そういう風なこともなく、新キャラクターが出てきたりとか、そういう風なことに関してですね、ちょっと触れていたりだとか、どなたでもお気軽にやっていただける話になっていたのではないかなって思うんですけれどもね。でもおそらくこれゲームクリアしないと出てこないとか、そういう風なことですよね、きっとね。なのでこれを聞いている方はね、頑張ったんじゃないかな。はいね、怖がりながら頑張った人もいれば、もうすごく楽しみで頑張った人もいたんじゃないかなと思います。なのでどちらも含めて本当によく頑張った、偉かったぞ。なんだこれは。ということで、まだ、1回しかプレイしてないという方もきっといるのではないかなと思いますので、そういう方はですね、本当何度も何度も遊べると思いますので、何度も何度も遊んでいただけたらなと思います。そして怖い人はちょっと1周目やって、怖かったなって思った人はですね、友達と一緒にプレイしてみてはいかがでしょうか。ということで、今回はこの辺でまたお会いできるのかな、どうなんだろうな。本当に僕としてはまだまだ続いてもらいたいのですが、ということで、僕も楽しみにしておりますので、皆さんも楽しみにしててください。ということで、 持田聡役下野紘でした。バイバイ。
He got to say a lot of stuff. He got to say a lot of stuff, didn't he? Yes, my thrilling response. Miyuki Sawashiro.
お疲れ様です。シシドユイやらせていただきました。沢城みゆきです。本編楽しんでいただけましたでしょうか。私はですね、多分自分でやることはないと思います。やることはないというか、やれないというか、皆さんこれいつやるのかしら。夜やるのかしら。日が出ている時に確かにやっても、なんでしょう。やっぱり面白くないですかね。夜こう後ろを振り返りながらやるのが面白いんでしょうか。私はちょっととてもこれやれそうになくてですね、感想を聞かせていただけたら嬉しいなと、思っております。学校っていう空間は怖いにせよ楽しいにせよ、とっても好きな空間で、想像しながら廊下を走ったり、暗い階段をこう一人パタパタ上がっていく感じの、こう何とも言えない学校の匂いを感じながら、久しぶりにやるのはとっても楽しかったです。今度はですね、もうちょっと怖くないので、また学校のお話、携われたらいいなと思います。ありがとうございました。
Okay. Nobuhiko Okamoto。
はい、どうもお疲れ様です。司役の岡本信彦です。いやー、収録今終わったところなんですけれども、あれですね、司くんがですね、めっちゃかっこよくてですね、いやー、爽やかなイケメンですごいんですよ。これぜひ好きになってくださいと言わんばかりのですね、僕の思いがこう演技に含まれていたら嬉しいんですけども、そうですね、こんなにイケメンなんですけど、まさかですね、結構怖い恐怖体験もですね、収録中に疑似体験できてですね、いやー、台本をですねもらった時にもう普通に読んじゃいましてですね、めっちゃ怖いんですよね。あの人が人じゃないんですかね。化け物が怖いんですよ。司くんが言うには倍司くんで化け物なんですけど、いやよくですね、今回も死に方たくさんあるんですけど、言っていいのかわかんないですけど、よく祁答院さんはこんなにすごい死に方を考えられるなと本当に感動してしまいますね。僕自身ですね、結構ホラー作品というものは好きでして、そうですね、ショッキングシーンなんかも結構割と耐性がある方なんですけど、文字面を読んでてですね、夜中に昨日読んでいて、すごい背中がゾッとしましたそうですね、しかもゾッとする時に限ってこう家がですねミシッといったりするのがですね、人の気配とかを感じるのがですね、とても怖い次第でございます。はい、コープスパーティーまたですね、司くんやれる機会あればいいなとか思いつつですね、それはぜひ皆さんの応援によってできると思うので、ぜひ僕にもう一回司くんをやる、機会をくださいませ。皆さん、本当に収録楽しかったです。お疲れ様でした。
Another chance. Yes, we know what that other chance is now as well. Anyways. There you go. That's it. Now I'm done. I'm going to rate anyone as usual when I do the I've done all the book shadow stuff. I'm not rating out from. I'm just killing the stream. Grab it by the neck and snap. Where's the neck? It's over here. Grab it by the neck